Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome to the stream. How we doing? How we doing? How we doing? Hopefully you can hear me all good. Let me just double check if audio's coming through okay. We'll get into this thing. Can you hear me? Yeah. Working. Alright, sweet. Beautiful, beautiful. Alright then. How is everybody doing out there in the interwebs today, guys? We're doing good. You have a good weekend. Are you ready for the start of a new week? Oh, well, the new week's already started. Don't matter if you're ready for it or not. It's here. I'm afraid. How's everybody doing? FYI, quick plug. 2 videos of today, one on the main channel, one on the secondary channel. Check them out. One talking about the leaks of the PS5 sales for Concord, and they're bad. And another video talking about leaks again, but this time for Wuthering Waves. And you can check those both out, guys. Very much appreciate everybody who's been watching the videos as well. Thank you for the continued support. You are awesome. We're going to play some Tough today, bit of Terra Fancy, I think. I mean, I kind of really want to start Brown Dust 2, and I do want to start Limber's Company as well, and I do want to start a new account on Reverse 1999. We did start the game before, but we only played a very little of it, but I do want to get into those games. But I thought today we'll start off with some Terra Fancy, see how things go, crack on with that. I think I need to go back and do is it Asperia? I think it is the first world or whatever, and finish off that stuff around there. We've got plenty to do anyway. We've got plenty to do. So we're going to continue on with doing that. Spectre Divide launches tomorrow as well, but probably going to stream that on the second channel. Keep this all for the gacha. People watching on Twitch, obviously you guys will see. We did stream some Deadlock again last night. Had a blast with it. I'm addicted to that game, man. It slaps so fucking hard. It's insane. So addictive. I just want to, honestly, I was like, man, I might just stream on the second channel this afternoon and we're just playing some Deadlock. Like, I'm there. I'm at that point, like, you know what I mean? Boom. We're going to be good. We're going to be disciplined. We'll stream it tonight. But yeah, I was going to do some work on the drive today, but it's pissed it down, so it's a no-go because it's just it's super muddy out there, so we'll wait for that. I've got workers round at the moment as well, that's why I'm a little bit late sorting out new fence in the garden, but they've had to like remove a bunch of brick wall in between ours and the neighbour's garden, and then they've got to like do all their little work there, then put the fence in, so it's a bit of a big job. But they're here today doing that. And we're here today playing some video games, because, you know, why not? Why not? You know what? We ain't going to mess around today. We're going to get straight into the action. We're going to check out a couple of videos, and then we're gonna play some Terra Fancy, boys and girls. We're here for it. I'm ready. Body's ready. Again, this week we will be starting Brown Dust 2. We will be starting Reverse 1999. And some Limber's Company as well. I do want to get back on solo level and Arise as well. We're going to start playing a multitude of games now coming up. I want to be rotating through some gacha games. It's just that we've been kind of heavily invested in Terra Fancy recently, which I'm still really enjoying. And obviously we've had stuff to do in Wuthering Waves. New update to be coming soon, of course. We're going to be bashing that. But yeah, I want to play some other games as well. I've been feeling the itch, you know, to start playing a bunch of different games at the moment, and we're gonna scratch it. We're gonna scratch it. But how's everybody doing anyway, guys? Remember, if you are watching on YouTube, be sure to drop a like on the stream. It's very much appreciated. Very much appreciated. Again, as I said, we have loaded 2 videos today. One on the main channel, one on the second channel. Go check them out. It's appreciated. The main channel videos linked in both chats as well, so you can get straight to it. Straight to it. All right, and we're going to start off a
few gacha games released, and
we're going to start off with a Stixy video, boys and girls. We're going to start off with a Stixy video. Your favourite guy, I know it. All right. But the best new gacha game releases in September, and the ones shutting down. It always is the ones that are shutting down the games I've just never heard of, which I guess makes sense because that's probably why they're shutting down, because many other people haven't heard them as well. But another video from Sticks Guys showing some love, always coming with the gacha content. Let's see what new releases are coming. That's what we're here for. Forget the shutdowns. We're here for the releases.
A few gacha games released in August 2024. Very few of them really made any impact whatsoever. September looks like even more are releasing, and several have announced that they are false.
We are really in the golden age of gacha now, aren't we? We are. And I'm not just talking about the myriad of gacha games. I'm talking about some of the quality that looks like it's coming, of course. Wuthering Waves, Genshin, Honkai Star Rail. There's some other ones out there, of course, that I've not mentioned that people will be like, yeah, you forgot to mention this one. And we've just got so many big titles coming. We're in the golden age, man. It's a good time to be a gacha gamer.
Also shutting down. Now, if this is your first time here, consider subscribing to the channel, hitting the little bell notification. That way you remain up to date with every single thing that I post, and I post daily.
Let's
Do
go.
not miss out. First, we're going to cover the games that are going to be playable. Then we're going to...
Speaking of Shorekeeper, or looking at Shorekeeper, it's good. Shorekeeper's getting a buff, actually. And it looks like, man, I think we're going to be getting 2 back-to-back must-pull banners for Wuthering Waves now. Shorekeeper and then potentially Camellia coming right afterwards, looking at some of the leaks.
To cover the games that are shutting down after that. These might be games that you actively play or have played at one point. We're going to start this off, though, with Hoyon. This is a gacha game from NCSoft.
I did see some people playing this yesterday, I believe. I think you can get access to the game now. I was watching a channel where you can download, got some Google Drive links where you can actually download the launcher and the game. You have to open a Japanese account though, because you can only get it in Japan. There's no global launch at the moment, but it is in English, so you can still play the game, which is pretty cool. The game looks kind of okay. I don't know if it's worth jumping through the hoops yet for me. I'm gonna have to see some more. It looks all right though. It's got a pretty art style, but I don't know if it's enough for me to want to go that extra mile, you know.
NCSoft, of course, are the developers behind the Lineage MMOs, the Blade and Soul MMO, Ion, and the upcoming Throne and Liberty MMO. This game launched on August 28th, so it's literally
We're going to be playing Throne and Liberty
ago.
as well.
I am going to be streaming this live today, in theory, at roughly 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time if you're interested in coming on over and joining me. This game has released simultaneously for Korea, Japan, and Taiwan. From what I've seen, while it has released in various Asian countries, it is also available.
Obviously, I get it's a publishing thing and costs and all that sort of stuff. The game's ready to go, I think, for English, isn't it? You know, they've got it in English, at least text and all that. Voice acting's a different thing, but you don't necessarily need it. The game's got English language within the game. So it makes me think that it's hopefully not going to be too soon for people who want to play this, at least, to play it globally.
Available in English. I honestly would never fully devote my time or my money or my resources into playing any game from NCSoft. They are one of the worst MMO studios ever. They've destroyed with incredibly predatory pay to win every single game. They've gotten their grubby little fingers on. And I have no doubt in my mind that that is going to happen with this game too. Dragon Raja Castle's Gate released a new trailer for a public beta test that they were going to be holding. The trailer in specific did have a full English dub. Apparently it launches on September 12th.
Okay, that's soon then?
It is going to be launching in China. It is going to be launching with both a Chinese dub, an English dub, and a Japanese dub. Interestingly enough, it does not seem like this will be a global release. You can play it globally if you're...
It's so interesting to me that they don't... Obviously, it's probably a cost thing, isn't it? But the fact that they go to the length of having an English dub, not just English language, but an English dub, but don't release it global. It makes me think, well, there's a plan there for it to happen, or for whatever cost reasoning, again, could be publishing rights, the ability to get into these other regions, that they haven't done it, but I'm guessing that it's going to happen. But it's just really interesting to see a lot of these games, but I guess they're getting themselves ready, you know, they're preemptively putting themselves in the position for when they do go global. Everything's there to go. They just have to get the game published, servers, all that stuff, and they're rocking and rolling.
If you're interested in doing so, and you can play
I don't know what this game is,
English as well. It's just not going to have an English server. Rather, it's going to have a Chinese server for English players. I guess it's going to be something like Reverse 1999. Reverse 1999, of course, had English dubbing, even though the game had released exclusively in China at the time.
The thing is, though, for those sort of games, it doesn't necessarily matter so much. If it's sort of like an action game, then it becomes like an annoyance. A minor inconvenience for some, but like kind of a major annoyance for me. But like if you're playing like a turn-based game or something that's maybe a little bit more RTS-like or super slow-paced, turn-based, whatever it might be, tile-based, insert whatever type of combat mode you want in there, it's not too bad then. It's when it becomes like an action combat system and you've got potential like multiple hundreds of milliseconds ping, then it becomes a problem, isn't it?
Time. I don't know if this is gonna be a good game or not.
Never heard of it.
Dragon Raja for a mobile MMO isn't bad, but as
it's an MMO.
Gacha game.
Oh, okay.
Oh boy. Reverse Blue X Rebirth End is officially launching on the 24th of September 2024. This is a very interesting name. I know. I really know
I know, dude. Some of the names, like, I know some of them are probably because I like direct translations, but some of them it's just like, dude, really? You could have been a bit more concise with it, like, you know?
absolutely nothing about this game. I've seen some of the characters. They do look very cute. From what I've seen, it does look as though it takes significant inspiration from Arknights with regards to the character models, with regards to the UI.
Never played Arknights.
But at the same time, you know what? There have been plenty of games that have taken inspiration from other.
Styx is a gooner, isn't he? Like, dude bathes in the gacha space. Like, it seems like he's dabbled in a bit of freaking everything, which, hey, you know, if this is what you're going to do in content creation, I guess it pays to play, I suppose.
Other games.
He talks about so many games, and it's like, dude, I've never even heard of these.
Wuthering Waves with Genshin. So this is not something new in the genre, and I don't think is something that is necessarily going to be a detriment to the game's success. I am going to try this out. It does look like it's releasing in Japan and does not have a global release planned yet. Figures Story Restart has opened their pre-registrations as of the 30th of August.
Dude, that scene looks like something straight out of like a PlayStation 2 or something, man. That's wild. Maybe even earlier. Not in terms of like gameplay, just, you know, the sort of artwork that you used to see in magazines and stuff. Yeah, it kind of looks like that, man.
The pre-registration is for Japan, Taiwan, China. I'm not sure if this is like an alternate version of the game. I've never played Figure Fantasy. I don't really know how this is even related to it. I just know the pre-registration is open and available if you're interested. Before we go any further, let me take a moment here to thank my incredible patrons over on Patreon and my YouTube channel members who allow for me to continue to do dedicated videos like this every single day. You guys are phenomenal, and I cannot thank you all enough for the support. Now let's keep talking. Starseed Asnia Trigger has also opened global pre-registrations for their game.
I don't know anything about this game, but I'm already intrigued. Okay, the color palette is definitely the main thing that's pulling me in there. That's for sure.
Nothing else. This game is very similar to Eversoul. I did stream this.
Don't know what game that is.
When it released in Asia. It was, the cutscenes were very interesting. There were moments where your character had to wipe down very broken down, injured characters, and things got very suggestive, but I only remember getting a few max rarity units, and therefore I can't say with any kind of certainty exactly how explicit the overall cast of characters is. This was not bad from what I played. It was definitely interesting, and I'm curious to see how this ultimately ends up being a global release rather than the Asian release that I played, which was completely in Asian and I didn't understand at all.
Yeah, so far, you know, I know Ash Echoes, I know of this game, but all the others, it's just like, man, there's a CBT recruitment now. Ooh. Can you get that from, can you get access to that from anywhere?
Echoes is rolling out a global closed beta test if you're interested. The closed beta test does look like it's going to be running from September 19th. This does look like a lot of fun, and
again, I'm not really like a real-time tactics
RTS
kind of player, but like
turn-based or tactical games. Now let's go ahead here and talk to games that
should give it a whirl.
Down. Black Stella Ptolemaea is the first game in this list. They are announcing their end of service after a mere 10 months being online, and 5 of those months they spent in maintenance mode. So the game was out for a couple months, did poorly.
Another one makes sense. Never heard of it.
Going to milk players.
You know, there's games you haven't played, but like
over
when it's like literally not on the radar, it's like
really
okay, kind of makes sense, I guess.
Decided, you know what? Let's just throw in the towel, cancel this game while we can, and move on to the next game, which is a little disappointing because I did cover
we're just on to cancellations now, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm not too. This actually though.
It's their end of service on October 29th.
This I know about. This I played, and this I actually enjoyed quite a bit as well. This kind of sucks, I must admit, because I think this is a fun little game. I think it's just going to run on Chinese servers now and certain Asian servers as well. There's going to be no server swapping, which kind of sucks for the people who have got the game now, which I think that'd be a thing that they should allow people to do, in my opinion. I don't know why that's not a thing that's allowed. I don't know if it's because of a publishing rights thing going on or what in certain regions, but I think for people who've already had the game, who've potentially spent money on the game, which I haven't, but I think it's a fun game, and I think there's obviously plenty of people out there who've probably spent a little bit of cash. I think those people should be able to transfer the characters onto the servers that are still running. Because yeah, that sucks for those people, because it's basically they just said, hey, if you've got currency still left on the game, you can still spend it, but you ain't gonna be able to buy no more. And it's not even that the game's gonna keep running, it's closing, it's done, it's shutting down. So that really sucks for those people.
2024, I was surprised to see that there were so many people that thought that this should have been game of the year, that so many people like.
I definitely don't know about that, but I think it was a decent little game. What I played of it, I thought it was a decent little game. It got a beautiful art style. The card combat system was actually really well done, in my opinion. And it just had a lot of cool little elements to it as well. And obviously, I like Harry Potter, so I think that was a bias there as well. But I think the game was a pretty little game, actually, and it was kind of fun as well. It's a shame.
Even my wife, Mrs. Sticks, wanted to play this when she saw it, but evidently it turned out to be absolutely terrible, and nobody really gave a shit about it, because I mean it's shutting down, and
I wouldn't say it's terrible. Definitely wouldn't say it's terrible.
Available for players, and that is everything that is both launching, that is opening.
Okay, yeah, the old Harry Potter thing. I definitely wouldn't say it's terrible. It obviously, evidently, hasn't been a critical success, because otherwise it wouldn't be shutting down. But yeah, obviously, maybe for some of the people that might find have a different opinion, and maybe the more you play it, they might be a little bit more negative towards it. But you know, I put a couple of hours into the game, I want to say. Both me and Rosie played it. Rosie seemed to enjoy it as well. Like, it was kind of fun. It was kind of fun, actually. Shame. But it is what it is, I guess. Competitive market. Hold up, chat, back in a second. Alrighty. Yeah, really nothing on that list that was that I even knew about, really, apart from the Harry Potter game again. For me, yeah, it sucks. It sucks. Alright,
many titles with Hoyer.
I want to check out. I might watch a couple of videos regarding this. Actually, might have a little look at the charts ourselves. I've seen a lot of videos going around on my recommended, in my sub feed, of people talking about the gacha revenue, and it seems like Wuthering Waves didn't have a great August. I haven't really specifically looked at all the numbers. I do know that AFK Journey came in and absolutely blew the freaking doors off, and that Love in Deep Space is still doing incredibly well as well. It seems like everybody else has had a little bit of a slower month, but I think Wuthering Waves struggled a little bit more than most. So let's have a look and see what the crack is then, shall we? Another video from Saint Tontas. We are going to look at some other videos of this as well and kind of see what the vibe is from different people, because of course I don't think you can necessarily nail this down to the real reason or an objective reason of why this has happened. I guess we can just kind of assume and think what's going on within the space at the moment, but let's see what it's got to say.
The August report of Sensor Tower's revenue data has just been released, and there's quite a bit to unpack. With out-of-nowhere titles like AFK Journey taking first in the rankings and Love and Deep Space taking...
Insane numbers for both of them. Love and Deep Space has been at the top of the charts for the last 2 months, I think. Well, ever since it launched, and it's just been killing it from day one.
Second, we're seeing some massive decreases across many titles, with Hoyoverse games like Zenless Zone Zero dropping by tens of millions over the past...
See, like for me though, like I've seen a lot of people being like, whoa, that's terrible, but like they did 100 million in the first month. That wasn't going to stay like that. And 31 million is still an incredible number to put out. I'm not saying that he's saying that, but I'm just saying I've saw a lot of people kind of like being like, "Ooh, yeah, maybe it's not going to be as successful as I thought it was." I did not expect this game to do 99,800,000 or 99.8, should I say, in the first month. I thought it was going to do well, and I suspect it's going to continue to do well. But that's an incredible number.
Past month. Wuthering Waves, unfortunately, is another title that decreased in revenue during August.
Still great numbers though.
With a drop
Still
from
great numbers.
29.5 million all the way to 13.5. The first reaction to this data could easily be shock or disappointment. With all the incredible quality of life updates and gameplay optimization.
See, like for me, I don't get either of those. I think if you're really attached to the company and you're attached to online arguments, I guess, and making points, then I guess you could be disappointed. I am of the opinion that as long as Kuro make enough money for Wuthering Waves to be a priority for them and they reinvest and we keep getting a better game, I really don't mind how much money they make as long as it makes enough for them for it to be a massive thing for them to continue with. Because I do think some people, it's more of a stick to beat other gacha gamers with, isn't it really? To be like, look how much we made this month, which is kind of weird.
Kuro has made since release, there's nothing players would have liked more than to see the continual growth in these revenue numbers across that time. However, when we dive into the situation surrounding August, its limited characters, and version 1.2 schedule, it's clear why these revenue numbers are the way that they are. Today we'll be breaking down why the Wuthering Waves August numbers were down, diving into the limited appeal of the featured character Jeja, the incredibly low incentives players had to actually spend across 1.2, and how
well, I think for a large part of this game, this is one of the reasons why I think revenue isn't as high as what it could be, because it doesn't have the biggest incentive to spend anyway, because of how generous the game is and has been. Most people who have been playing from day one have got a really decent account at this point. Of course, there's upcoming characters that seem like they're really going to be adding something to the game. But yeah, I think a lot of people have got some really good stuff in the game. And my worry is if they're too generous, power creep is definitely going to become a thing, because they're going to have to incentivize people to pull and spend. And if they're giving so much away, the only way they're going to incentivize that is having insane upcoming banners. But even still, then they're not gonna get what they could with the generosity that they're giving. I'm not saying they should dial it back, but yeah, I do think that's been a major factor in regards to people's spending habits on the game. And at the end of the day, there's just so many gacha games as well now. Like it's going to become ever more diluted in which games really do well, and the rest kind of having a middling experience in comparison. But still, been great numbers in my opinion, Wuthering Waves is, but let's see what he's got to say.
Teasers for future versions have had more people saving rather than spending, considering the appeal of the upcoming additions to the roster. That's
definitely a fact, I think, sure, because for me, I lost my 50-50 to Jeji, and my plan was, right, if I lost it, I was probably going to open the wallet. I was going to give in. But then I saw Shorekeeper's kit, and I was like, oh, actually, I don't know if I am going to now. We lost our 50-50. We've got a guarantee. let's just maybe hold back. Let's hold my horses. Let's be a big boy. Let's not let FOMO kick in, and let's let Jeji go, which hurts because I really like her, and not even just from a combat point. I just think she's an awesome character. I really wanted her in my roster, but I'm like, Shorekeeper's kit looks like I need it. I need that shizzle in my life. So it's like, yeah, I agree with that. There's probably a lot of people who've had that sort of a viewpoint as well.
Always, if you're enjoying this content, please hit that like and subscribe button. The number one way that a gacha company makes money is through its limited 5-star characters and their signature weapon. Characters need to have a couple of key factors in their design to incentivize players to dig into their wallet and spend that cash on Lunite or packages in the store. Factors like a powerful kit with huge numbers, buffs and abilities that synergize with a large number of characters, or a very attractive design and playstyle that players want to be constantly looking at and experience.
That's it, man. Waifu meta and the meta. If you can get both of them, then you're going to kill it. But typically, if you get a really good waifu meta, you're going to do well as well.
Within their gameplay. Jeja, unfortunately, only ticks off a few of these boxes. While a player's attraction to a character design is entirely subjective, there's no doubt from historical performances in the genre that certain character designs are a lot more appealing to the general populace than others. Jeja is undeniably more of a conservative design compared to the other limited characters we've seen. What this means is that much...
It's true. It is true. I hope that performance in these sort of banners, or if they don't do well, doesn't push Kuro down the path of making all the characters kind of look that way. Love Yinlin. I love me some Jinsei. I definitely love me some Changli. You know, Changli and Yinlin specifically in the way they're designed. I hope everything doesn't go down that path of being a bit more, you know, a bit more sexy. Look, don't get me wrong. I want sexy waifus, but I love the design of Jeji, and I think it gives a little bit more variety to the look, and it also makes those kind of, let's say, the top tier, the S tier looking waifus look more S tier when everything isn't like that kind of thing. You know, it makes them stand out a little bit more. So I hope that banners like this maybe not potentially performing as well as they might have liked. I don't know, actually. They might see this as the numbers are still great for them. I don't know what they're expecting in terms of return, profit, their overheads, all that sort of stuff. So it might be totally fine for them. And there's still really good numbers when you look at it. It's because we always compare to the big dogs at the top, don't we? And we get carried away with that a little bit, I think. But yeah, I hope it doesn't change the designs of characters too much in the future.
More of the pulling incentive is tied to the strength of her kit, her synergies with other members of the roster, and her overall feel and gameplay. When it comes to her kit, Jeja has fantastic numbers and unique gameplay that has her constantly shifting her position on the battlefield. She is, without a doubt, one of the most unique releases we've had.
She's fun to use as well.
A core element of her design is that she is a sub-DPS. She needs another damage dealer on her team to make use of her massive buff to Glacio and Resonance skill damage. Unfortunately, this limits her synergies with characters on the current roster significantly. Her ideal teammates are Jinsei, another limited character, or Ling Yang, a standard 5-star. Jinsei is already mind-blowingly powerful, with
She really is. I love Jinsei, man.
Incredible performance with budget options like Yanwu and previous limited releases like Yinlin. And Ling Yang, he's already built up a reputation as one of the weakest characters in the game, so people really...
Dude, he's the one character in the game that I just was like, I'm not even bothered about getting. I don't care to try and get Adel. I know there's some mains out there, but like, yeah, not for me, buddy, not for me.
Aren't pulling limited characters for him. What this means is that the main motivation for pulling Jeja is to take an S+ tier DPS like Jinsei and bump them up to S++, or pull her to buff a standard 5-star that already doesn't perform at the same level as his peers. Her use cases are very specific and require you to invest in either the weakest 5-star in the game or hyper invest in the best DPS in the game who already clears content very easily without her. You can
All
begin
facts,
to
all
see
facts.
why a lot of people didn't pull for Jeja. When it comes to Jeja's weapon, it's also a very similar situation. With weapons shareable across endgame content like the Tower of Adversity, one of the biggest incentives to pull for a limited weapon, besides its guarantee, is how many other characters you can use it on.
This is one thing I think that Kuro need to do in terms of promoting the weapons, because you've got a guarantee. It's a really good system. So then, and obviously you're not going to get people re-rolling because they're guaranteed it, but they need to try and advertise a little bit better, like promote them in a better way. Obviously, they can do that through in-game sort of stuff, but on the socials as well, just to show how useful it is to have these weapons. And most people in the know, but you know, I just feel like if they could do that, more people would be potentially spending them because they know that, right, I've got to get the weapon, whatever. And then, you know, maybe the limited banner is either a secondary thing or it's just I've got to get both at the same time. Because if you're pulling for the banner, you really want to pull for the signature weapon as well. And you could do that through the month. But if it's deemed a little bit more necessary, should I say, in regards to how useful they are, maybe you might get more people doing that. I just think sometimes Kuro don't necessarily sell the game so well in comparison to like Genshin and other gacha games. It feels like they're almost, I don't know, I'm not saying they are, but it's almost like there's a little bit of like, hey, you know, we don't want to push this stuff on you too much, which I don't want the game constantly letting me know about that sort of thing. But, you know, I don't know. I just feel like there could be a bit of a drive more from Kuro to get people to see the benefits of it, if that makes sense.
Jeja's weapon is beyond niche, with its boost to attack damage and rectifier roll, making it usable as more than just a stat stick on only 2 characters in the game.
This is what I was saying as well before. I feel like now all signature weapons going forward, I've said this multiple times, should be usable on a load of different characters. There should be so much variety. So even if you're not pulling on the limited banner, you're going to want to pull the weapon because it's going to be usable across multiple different teams. It's going to allow your Tower of Adversity to be so much easier because characters across the board are going to benefit from it. It's just going to push people to pull on that. And then if as well, it's specifically designed to be really good with that character also, then it's going to make people pull on that character as well. It's like a cyclical thing, isn't it? It's like, well, I need to get it because it's going to make my whole roster better, but it's also going to make the character that's in the banner really, really, well, you know, better. It's going to buff them really well. So, yeah, I think they could go about it better for sure. Of course, not every weapon's going to be as usable across the board as the next weapon, because some are going to be a little bit more niche. They're going to be specifically designed in certain ways, which I totally get. But I think if they can try and make them work with as many characters as possible, I think they should do that. And it just brings a lot more variety as well, because then a particular character might have a signature weapon that specifically works really well with them in a focused way. But then another signature weapon for somebody else might work specifically for them in a particular way, but really helps them as well in some kind of other way. And I think they should really look at making that a main focus of the signature weapon. So they are signature weapons, but they're seen beyond being just a signature weapon.
Jeja and Encore. When Yinlin, a prior released rectifier sub DPS, has a weapon with far more general buffs and activation conditions that's usable on many more characters, and actually better for Encore than Jeja's weapon, there's very little incentive to pull for Jeja's unless you want to hyper-optimize for Jeja herself. Factor in the niche role that Jeja plays on teams and the niche role of her weapon, you have a recipe for very low sales. That's unfortunately the big downside of sub DPS characters. They need somebody else to work with, and when the roster is as small as it is, their overall value isn't nearly.
This is the thing, as a roster gets bigger, these sort of things won't be so much of a problem. I think some DPS characters do have a genuine desire to be pulled, in my opinion, but it's how specific they are in their function as a DPS, which can sometimes negate them from being, you know, extra sought after.
As high as characters like Jin C or Jian. Looking past Jeja's banner, it's time to address the elephant in the room. Almost nobody
Free
will be
stuff.
pulling on Zhang Liyao's character banner. With him being given out for free and his banner having some of the most unsynergistic characters possible for his kit, the main incentive for players on his banner is his sequence nodes, and not a lot of players will actively go for these. His weapon, on the other hand, is likely where most players will be
This is where I say as well that it's going to compound into the next banner, because people have had a whole 2 banners to stack for Shorekeeper. Again, this is where I say sometimes maybe they're too generous for the free-to-play, because people are still getting a lot of asteroids through both of these banners with the events and just typical gameplay. That come Shorekeeper, there's going to be a lot of people who are going to be able to pull her, you know? Of course, there's going to be the people who lose the 50-50s and all that sort of stuff, but there's still going to be a lot of people who are going to be able to actually go in for her, which I think is going to be a problem that they're going to suffer from for quite a little while, if I'm honest. Again, as long as they make enough money that allows them to prioritize the game, I really don't care how much money they're making, as long as they're making enough, and I think they are. Of course, I don't know the financial state of the company, their overheads, the cost of the game necessarily, how much they see that they need to be bringing in each month for them to consider this a game that's right, this is our main focus for the upcoming future or for the foreseeable future. But I hope we're at that point already, because as somebody who's, really enjoys the game, I hope it continues to be something that they keep their eyes on.
directing their pulls. However, Zhongli's weapon has some of the same issues Jeja's does. There's not a lot of great alternative users. You have Ling Yang, Johnson, or Yan Wu as the potential users, when Ling Yang is not a character players are actively building around, and the other 2 characters typically take on a support role with Rejuvenating Glow and the Originite Gauntlets. Zhongli's weapon is going to be a bit more limited in its use than people might think. Even if Zhongli is free, there is also still a negative stigma towards pulling on weapon banners in the gacha genre due to the horrifying experiences players have had in other games. And when his weapon is realistically...
See, this goes back to my point of where I feel like the Kuro need to do a job of advertising why the weapon banner in this game is incredibly important, because five-star weapons in this game are clear, they're clear, which is obvious, but they really are clear in this game. They're really good to have, let's face it. This is why they need to advertise the reason a little bit better, and they need to make as many of these signature weapons, these 5-star banners, as appealing as possible by making them work across the roster as much as possible. Of course, again, not everyone's going to be able to do that, specifically because the way the roster at the moment, and the way that a character might be designed as well, depending on the kit. The weapon might really need to be designed in a way that is hyper specific for them, but still they can add some sub effects that make it work really well with other characters as well. Of course, this is a hard thing to do, and it's all about balance, but I think it's definitely something they could do, and I think it would make them way more desirable, and people need to understand then that, okay, all right, it's worth pulling on a weapon banner pretty much every time as well. Plus, you've got the guarantee as well, so it's a bit more desirable, and you're more likely to potentially spend as well, because you're like, well, I know I'm not going to fail, and this is really going to benefit my account, even if it's a small spend. I think that they really need to focus on that.
Only great on a standard 5-star character that nobody really uses, you'll be pulling this weapon just for Zhongli. What this all means is that as we move into September and Zhongli's banner, we might not be seeing a big growth in revenue numbers. There just isn't as much incentive to spend in version 1.2. There was also another big factor that contributed to these lowered August numbers, and that was the very early drip marketing Kuro released for characters like Shorekeeper.
This is what I said before. I said this prior to any of these revenue alerts. I said I think Kuro drip market a little bit too early. They're kind of, especially when they're coming out with banger characters that are upcoming, or at least they look like banger characters. It makes you think, well, what's the point in pulling on this banner then? I might as well just wait. Especially if you've got a decent roster of characters at the moment, like most people who played the game from day one have got a good set of characters now, so they can easily skip a few banners. And when you've got characters like Shorekeeper coming up, who's really kind of needed, because we've been waiting for those sort of characters in the game, because we've had a lot of DPSs and sub DPSs, those sort of characters we've really been like, well, at least I have kind of been aching for. I'm even in that place again. Like I said, I was willing to open my wallet if I failed my 50-50 on Jeje, and then I saw Shorekeeper, and I was like, actually, I'm not anymore. I've got my guarantee. I'm kind of thinking I might potentially open my wallet just to get some resonance chains for Shorekeeper. But there's going to be a lot of people who aren't going to want to do that. They're just going to be like, well, I'm just going to stack through both of these banners now and make sure I can at least go through and fail my 50-50 and potentially be in a really good point, should I say, that throughout the banner, I'll be able to chip away and get her on my guarantee kind of thing, you know what I mean? So yeah, I definitely do think they make a mistake on the way they drip market stuff. I think they go a little bit too early. They should do it a little bit later, but they should go a bit bigger with it, you know? Show it off a little bit more, treat teaser videos, that sort of stuff. I think they'll get a lot more hype if they do that. And I think if they start doing live streams as well, I know the disaster live stream that happened, I think that's a big factor though. I think if they start really getting some community hype around doing some live streams, I think they'll drive people a bit more towards the banners as well.
And Yoo-Hoo. With all of the rumors floating around the role that these characters will play on future teams, it's undeniable that there's far more traction around these banners than those in version 1.2. Combine that with the fact that Shorekeeper ticks off a lot of the boxes when it comes to appealing towards the general populace of gacha players, you'll end up with a lot more people saving their pulls and digging into their wallets in version 1.
See, the weird thing is, it wasn't even a design, which, don't get me wrong, booba good. But I was like, her design's okay. She does look like a cool character, but I was just like, I can kind of skip the design. I wasn't blown away. And then I saw her kit and I was like, yeah, I'm sold. Most people know me. Waifu meta typically comes first for me. That's usually what pushes me to go and pull for a character. And if they've got a great kit, awesome. And if they've not got a great kit, well, okay, I'll still go for it. Like, you know what I mean? But when I saw her kit, I was like, yeah, dude, she's a must pull for me personally.
1.3 instead. Overall, version 1.2 has been and probably will be Kuro's lowest revenue patch for the foreseeable future.
Let's
With
hope.
Jeja and her weapons very niche use cases in the current state of the game, Zhongli being completely free, and the increased overall excitement for Shorekeeper and her banner, we shouldn't read too much into August's performance as a measure for Wuthering Waves.
I don't think we should. I don't think any individual month should be read into too much, full stop. But I think, again, this is what I've said with this game. Once we hit about the 6-month period is when we should be able to look at things and kind of look at the trend. You know, that's usually when you can gauge a trend. 6 to 12 months, we'll be able to like, okay, things are going in the right direction. Things are going in the wrong direction, or they're kind of just stable. At the end of the day, like I said, I don't know how much Kuro see themselves as needing to earn each month in regards to considering the game a investment priority to continue making it, or if they've got, you know, massive ideals for what they expect for the game, or it's a little bit lowball. They might be really happy at these numbers. It might be really something that they're worried about. But I definitely do think it's something to keep an eye on, for sure. Of course, low numbers or numbers that have dropped is never really good, but it does really kind of have a reason this month. Everything he said is correct. I don't disagree with anything he said. I think there's other reasons as well, other launches, all that sort of stuff. These games don't just happen in a vacuum, and some of the big spenders and even mid spenders do spend on other games, and when they're releasing big patches, those players are going to be off playing those games and spending on those games as well. And I guess it kind of comes together. Maybe they planned this. Maybe this is why we got this banner happening right now. They didn't want to pull all their eggs in one basket when Natlan just dropped, you know, right after Zenless Zero just dropped, and they're waiting for the, you know, the hype to go away on those a little bit, and then they hit us with Shorekeeper, they hit us with Camellia, then they start to really roll out the big characters that I'm hoping are coming to the game. So I guess we'll see. It is true. We shouldn't read into it too much, but we should definitely see it as something that's not exactly a positive for Kuro, at least, anyway.
Future. Shorekeeper will drop in the middle of September, so hopefully we'll see a big bump from her banner and sales. As always, if you enjoyed this content, please hit that like.
Great video. Again, for me, I don't care how much Kuro make, really. I don't work for Kuro. I'm not paid by Kuro. I just want Kuro to make enough that the game continues to be good. And whatever number that is, I hope they attain it, right? And then beyond that, I don't care. It's just going to be buying somebody a yacht anyway. You know what I mean? But if they're happy and they're looking at Wuthering Waves and being like, right, this is making us more than enough money. Let's keep investing. That's what I want, because I really like the game and I want it to continue to be cool and enjoyable. And the only way we're going to get that is if they're making enough money to see it as something that's worth continuing, isn't it? Yeah, great video. Why we were struggling in August, saying Tontas. I must agree. A lot of the points, again, I've saw these popping around on my feed recently, on my recommended. The last few days, people really talking about the revenue. I don't know if people necessarily really speaking on to Wuthering Waves drop, but a lot of the games dropped anyway. Or AFK just coming in and absolutely fucking smashing top spot with $71 million, which is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. But yeah, interesting. It's not about the design. Going to pull shortkeep because apparently she's good for people with skill issue. A kit's insane. A kit is insane. All right, big pivot here. But I'm curious about this. I'm interested to see what the crack is. As somebody who played X-Defiant in a multitude of playtests, played the game on launch, I did buy the Battle Pass and Season 0, and then literally stopped playing that day, which was kind of dumb of me. So X-Defiant is shutting down if things don't turn around. I have kind of seen that nobody's talking about the game anymore. I'm not seeing content on the game. I'm not really seeing people stream the game. But I think that's just a symptom of the game really doesn't have much to give in that regard. It's a fun game. It's got good gunplay. It's trying to do something in the space, I guess, but it's really not doing anything new. And it's not really giving players much to grind for as well. So I think it's kind of inevitable that it's in the place of Sim right now. Are they going to attempt to turn it round? I sure hope so. Or is it going to be something that can do? New Call of Duty's on the horizon. I think they really messed up, in my opinion, when they missed the launch date last year. It was supposed to happen August, September time, and then we were told it was going to be 2 weeks, and then the game didn't launch till this year, and I think that really put a dampener on it. I think it missed its sweet spot where it really could have been a little bit bigger, but I think even if it did launch then, it still would inevitably have had these issues that it's having. But let's see what Nero Cinema's got to say about it, and see what the crack is.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to X-Defiant. I know it's a bit weird right now making an X-Defiant video as we are in the midst of the Black Ops 6 beta, but I would not be doing that if it weren't for the news being so ridiculously important to the future of X-Defiant as a whole, because apparently the game is not doing very good and it may very well shut down.
I don't know about, well, I don't know, actually. I don't know how badly it's doing, but again, it's a seriously competitive space to be in. It's the first-person shooter space. Even when you're coming in free to play, look at the struggles that games are having. It's no wonder Concord absolutely fell on its face. I've got to take the opportunity to just laugh at Concord a little bit, you know, because, like I say, again, when the space is this harsh, how do you think you're going to come in at 40 freaking quid, $40 with a trash game like that and think you're going to compete with things like Overwatch? Ridiculous.
In the relatively near future.
I had to get that in there, guys. I had to shoehorn it in.
So it's coming in from Tom Henderson, who is an industry insider who has his own website, Insider Gaming. Okay. I've covered Tom countless times here in the channel. I mean, Call of Duty leaks back in like World War II. Like, this dude's been leaking stuff forever. He's a very, very reputable source, and he apparently has been speaking to certain people at Ubisoft in regards to X-Defiant, and the news is not very good. I'll put a link to the article down there in the description. It's short, sweet, and to the point, so I just want to read this out for you guys. X-Defiant was all the buzz when it launched in May 2024. The game exceeded...
Yes, a lot, what, like months later after it was initially supposed to launch. That was a big letdown for a lot of people. That was how much it got delayed.
1 million unique
and
players
in its first 2.5
hours, which is a Ubisoft record, and exceeded over 8 million players in its first
good numbers.
week.
Really good numbers.
Executives were thrilled at the title's future and even reported in the company's latest press release that X-Defiant revenue contributed to its Q1 2024 financial success. But now, just 6 weeks from its Q1 financial report, Ubisoft headquarters wants player numbers to increase by Season 3, or X-Defiant risks losing its much-needed post-launch support. That is pretty crazy.
See, this is the problem sometimes, isn't it, with games of service, and especially from companies like Ubisoft. You know, they expect numbers to be stratospheric, and 8 million players is insane. But to think you're going to hold that, it's just, it's, you know, this is a problem with a lot of these people that don't understand games. Now, I'm not bagging on X-Defiant, but the game itself was never going to hold those sort of numbers. I'm not saying it couldn't be successful and it couldn't continue to be successful, but it was just never going to hold those sort of numbers. It's not that guy, you know? And of course, it is lacking post-launch content. But the idea that in such a short space of time, they're like, right, if these don't pick up, we're just going to drop all the post-launch content. It's a shame. It really is a shame. But again, it's that typical AAA studio kind of thing, AAA publisher of like, if it ain't making the money, we ain't getting that return right away, which you can understand from a business standpoint. It's like just bounce. There's no desire to create games anymore that generate income because they're good games. It's like it's all about the revenue first and foremost, and the game ends up being kind of soulless. One of the biggest things for me with XDefiant as well, it just kind of felt cheap. You know, it just felt a bit cheap. It was really fun, but and I understand that probably why it felt a bit like that because it had a lot smaller budget than typical. But I feel like the game deserved a lot of post-launch investment from Ubisoft. And then I don't know if that's on the developer's side of things, the reason it hasn't happened, or they're just not getting the support that they need. But I think they've missed the mark on this, and I think it's inevitable. This game is just going to continue to kind of drift into insignificance, if I'm honest. It just doesn't have enough content, really. And I just don't think that's ever going to change, really. You know, it's going to be too slow for it to keep people engaged on that degree.
Crazy right there. Apparently, player numbers are so low that they may lose post-launch support. And if we lose post-launch support, well, that's pretty much just the end of XDefiant, right? I mean, they might have the original content that came out with the game and some of the Season 1 and Season 2 stuff, but if player numbers don't increase by Season 3, they're talking about just stopping support for the game in general, which is freaking crazy. Going back to the article, internally, optimism for the game has shifted primarily due to the game's continuously declining player numbers and lack of player spending. One source told me that the game has been struggling to obtain...
There's really no reason to spend on the game, though. Like I said, man, the skins suck. They just suck.
20,000 concurrent players across all platforms, whereas another said they being Ubisoft, would probably be happy with that number, suggesting it's now much lower. The declining numbers have created tension and anxiety within the team, with sources who spoke to me believing that more layoffs are only a matter of time. It was already confirmed via Twitter in kind of like a nonchalant way, just a reply message, but Mark Rubin did say that their team is going through a restructuring right now, and there were firings over at Ubisoft.
Restructuring is just PR speak for, yeah, we're fucking people off, basically, isn't it?
Francisco. In total, I think 45 people lost their jobs, and XDefiant apparently is struggling.
That's not a small amount of people. I would imagine in a studio like this, I would imagine probably a couple of hundred people are working on a game like this, so it's a big portion of the studio, I would imagine. I don't know, it could be much larger than that, but I don't think this is a game that had thousands of people working on it. I would imagine they had a few hundred people potentially working on it, possibly.
Ridiculously, to keep players playing and keep players interested in spending money. Of course, the game is free to play. It lives and dies by its shop. And apparently, according to Tom Henderson and his sources over at Ubisoft, if they don't up their game before Season 3, Ubisoft might just pull the entire project. That is terrifying to me, man. It really is. Like, XDefiant itself, when it first came out, was such a breath of fresh air. It still is. It's a fantastic...
See, I wouldn't even go that far, man. I think that's a little bit of glaze there. Don't get me wrong. I don't think the game was a breath of fresh air. It was fun. Don't get me wrong. It was fun. But it wasn't anything... It wasn't breaking the mold. It wasn't doing anything new. It wasn't, like, expanding out in the genre to give us something that we haven't seen before. It was just another first-person shooter that's... took COD's kind of ethos in the way it's fast-paced, it's run and gun, it's arcadey. Not necessarily the gunplay felt like COD, but you know, it was aimed at that audience. And then they tried some stuff with the game modes, but nothing that I would call unique. You know, they were just like payloads and then these typical game modes, pretty much, which really didn't do anything new. And then you look at a game like Deadlock, which is absolutely smashing at the moment, but that does something that's kind of unique. It's took a MOBA, and then it's took a third-person hero shooter, which I know MOBAs are hero games, but then melded them together and really, like, just, you know, those themselves aren't anything new, but, like, the way they've been brought together just creates this new addictive game, and XDefiant just wasn't that. So the idea that it's a breath of fresh air for me, I'm just like, maybe for you, but I'm not too sure.
That's the game. Like, we're talking about Black Ops 6, like we're playing the Black Ops 6 beta and everything. Like, that game is the sweatiest freaking game I've ever played, man. I know it's a beta. I know that. Like, betas are always going to be sweaty, but like, it's night and day different compared to XDefiant. XDefiant is actually chill. It's relaxing. It's colorful. I love the factions that we have in the game. The gunplay is solid. The weapon camos are nice. The maps are freaking beautiful.
It's like, for me, that's one thing I never get, you know, when people say a game like this is chill. Now, I know it's got no skill-based matchmaking, unless you're in ranked. But for me, a first-person shooter, PvP, arcade game as well, you know, that's small maps, close quarters, fast-paced, you're getting into fights all the time. I just don't find them chill. I love them, and I enjoy them. I'm not saying I can't relax while gaming, but I just, you know, it's not like I'm just sitting back and just being like, yeah, man, chill time, you know? Because you're like, fuck, man, it's lock-in time, you know, it's focus time kind of thing. Because for me, if you're not in that mode, I just don't play these games unless I'm in that mode. Otherwise, I'll go and play a single-player game or I'll play a PvP game that's just a lot more slower, you know, and I'm getting into that sort of action in a lot more chill way. Maybe like a large-scale tactical shooter, maybe.
Like, the game is fantastic, but I was talking about on my live stream tonight, it's one of those things where the core game is good, but it's been out for so long that there's really not much for you to do besides grind your weapon camos, which takes forever. I've said that in pretty much every single X-Defiant video, you know? There just needs to be more things for you to do within the game. Right now, you can jump in and play, and the gameplay is good. Like, arguably, like, really freaking good. I love X-Defiant's gameplay, but just
it's okay. It's okay. I wouldn't go that far. It's okay. Like, it's a fun game, and I'm not calling it like mid, but it's nothing special, really. It really isn't.
Playing the play, pretty much, because weapon camos take forever. Like, it's like 400 levels to get the max camo, and you might get like 2.5 levels per game if you're lucky. Like, do the math on that for one individual gun. So there's no real grind to the game. You can jump in and enjoy the gameplay, but that only lasts so long. Maybe back in, like, you know, 2003, you could have a shooter game that comes out where there's no real progression and it's just you versus other people and you enjoy that. But gaming's evolved in the last 20-30 years, man. Like, there needs to be extra, there needs to be meta challenges, there need to be a lot of things for you to grind for, things for you to do. Like,
there needs to be things to obtain. There needs to be things to obtain. You know, that gratification of obtaining something, pushing towards an objective, i.e. skins, prestiges, whatever, insert the thing here. But yeah, the game just lacks all that.
They talked about that pre-launch. You know, right now we don't have prestige mode. That's one thing, but the player leveling in general is horrendous right now. Like, once you get up there, it exponentially gets harder and harder for you to level up. So, you know, level 1 to level 2 might take a little bit, but it feels okay, right? But then level 2 to level 3 takes even longer. 3 to 4 takes even longer. And then when you're like me and you're up in the 100s, like, I could play the game for 4 hours straight and maybe level up one time now that I'm up there in the level 120, 130 range or something like that. So there's no player levels, the weapon levels take forever, and then the map content is very few and far between. Initially, it was revealed that we were getting one map per month.
I was going to say, like, what happened to that? Like, when I looked at that, I was like, I don't think they're going to be able to maintain that. I'm guessing they haven't then. I didn't know that was a thing, but yeah, like, I thought that we were going to be like awash with content in this game.
But with the overall lack of content within X-Defiant, one map per month just really isn't
okay. So that is happening. Yeah,
interested.
Okay.
Like, when they released Clubhouse, that was fantastic, but then we had to wait an entire month with no real updates or no real content being added to the game. And then they added Daytona, which is only there and available in linear game modes.
Yeah, that's a problem as well, because they've got the way the game modes work. That doesn't mean you're getting a map every month. If you're just straight up like a domination player and you get a map that's specifically designed for like payload or something like that, you haven't got a new map because you don't play that mode. It only works for one or two game modes. It doesn't work for, like, you know, domination or TDM or whatever it might be.
So if you just want to play TDM, Hotshot, Domination, Occupy, or whatever, you can't play that new map. So in essence, you have a 2-month span there with nothing really being added to the game. Just yesterday, they dropped Rockefeller, finally, but I'm telling you guys what, they just revealed the other day that Bomb, otherwise known as Search and Destroy, is not coming in Season 1. That's really unfortunate. So Rockefeller...
I was going to say as well, that's a big thing. I didn't know if it was in the game or not because I haven't played it for a while. I didn't want to comment, but like a search and destroy mode as well would help a lot, because for me, when it comes to these sort of shooters now, I don't mind doing a bit of running around and running and gunning for a little while, but I like the more competitive side of things now. That's why I like things like Valorant. I like Deadlock. I like, even though that's just casual and it's early access at the minute, I like Valorant. I like CSGO. You know, I like those sort of game modes where there's an objective and it's typically one life. It doesn't always have to be, of course, with things like Deadlock. But, you know, it's specifically about the objective, and you're playing, you know, each round feels like a proper tug of war sometimes, or each game, should I say. And these sort of games just lack that, you know. COD lacks that in general as well, in my opinion. You know, it's just a kind of headless chicken game for the most part, isn't it? Unless you're playing something like Surge. But, you know, I can have fun with them, just in small doses, really.
For all intents and purposes, is the last bit of content being added to Season 1. And mind you may think, oh man, Season 1, it's been out forever, man. It's probably almost over. No, we still have like another month of Season 1. Like, it's going to be like the end of September, early October by the time we hit Season 2.
What
which
are
will
they,
then
3
give us
more
another
seasons?
new map, a new battle pass, some new guns, a new faction. Like, the launch of a new season in XDefiant is cool. That new faction being there, having the new battle pass, the new weapons, like, that part's cool. But then after that initial honeymoon phase of the new season being out, we're just kind of being drip-fed content at that point, man. And it's a situation where we have heard in the past that apparently they have the entire first year of XDefiant's post-launch support like already planned out and already figured out. I'm curious to know how much of it is actually done in terms of those weapons, in terms of those factions, in terms of those maps, because if they're talking about potentially canceling the game if they can't up their player count by Season 3 or maybe the end of Season 3, I'm not sure how they worded it, then maybe you should front load that content. Like right now it should be all hands on.
Yeah, to be fair, if you want to get that player base up, you're gonna have to get some content pushed. You are, because it ain't gonna pull people in if you're not, and then you're gonna be in a situation of like, right, it's cut off date now. So like, I think those people need to understand, right? Okay, then things have got to change. We've got to give the support to allow them to do this. But if they're getting rid of people, I can't see that happening.
On deck, like, you know what? Like, oh man, we playing for this really cool faction to come out in like spring of 2025. Bring it out now. Frankly, bring it out now. I mean, maybe not a faction. Factions change a lot about the game, but a lot of those guns, like when Season 2 drops, we shouldn't be getting like 2 new guns in a secondary, man. We should be getting like 5 new primary weapons and 2 secondaries. Something crazy like that. Like front load that content into the launch of the game, because the launch of the game will all
They need skins that change the weapons look as well, I think. Go all out, man, you know, Valorant style.
always be the biggest point in the game's life cycle, and the launch was fantastic. Like, again, they broke records at Ubisoft for how many people are trying out XDefiant and enjoying XDefiant and playing it, but also
I remember when it came out and when the beta came out as well, especially when the beta came out. Man, the hype was real. And I think where they fucked up, they obviously did well anyway when the game launched, but I think they really messed up in the game having that big gap when it was supposed to launch. And then there was the issue with the console certification. There was like, it's going to take 2 weeks, and then boom, like another 4 or 5 months went by and we didn't hear anything.
ultimately they lost those players because there just was nothing to actually do in the game besides just play, like the normal standard gameplay, which again is good. The gameplay is fantastic, but you need more than that in 2024. You need something like a prestige mode. You need something like challenges to go for. You need to have more than just one map being added every month, especially considering the fact that the multiplayer maps themselves are being divided.
You need instant gratification all the time. You need constant things for people to push towards. You know, you're always going to have those players that are going to run through content so fast. You can't cater to those people. You know, the type of people who play a game 23 hours out of the day and will run through even the most vast content quickly. But they need to give the majority of the player base something to continually attain. And as well, it kind of speaks to me a little bit. People hate skill-based matchmaking, apparently. This game took it out. Didn't really help the game that much, did it? Now, I'm not saying that's the only reason, but I think sometimes that, like, people moan about that sort of stuff, and I don't know if changing it is really a big factor for them. But I do think it is better without skill-based matchmaking, you know, because you do have those games that you feel really good because you're playing really well, because you're probably playing against somebody with no thumbs, and then the next game you might get bodied because you're playing with somebody who's actually good at the game. Which I do like that, because I like old school Call of Duty in that sense. But yeah, you need that instant gratification all the time, pretty much, with these sort of games.
Amongst different game modes. Like, if you, let's hypothetically,
end of the day,
about the arena
people playing stuff like this, man, and Adderall sniffing 14-year-olds, man. If you ain't giving them something to fucking hype them up right away, then fucking off.
maps, but hypothetically,
hey, Neil, what's
if
up,
you
dude?
only like playing the linear maps, maybe when you play XDefiant, you only like playing Escort or Zone Control, you got one map total in Season 1.
That's the problem.
That's all you got.
Again, that's what I said, because they're subdividing the maps into individual game modes. If you play all of the modes, then you're fine. But if you only play the one set of game modes, you're only getting one map. And then if you're only playing the other ones, you're only getting one map. So you straight away, the content in terms of maps is getting split 50-50, well, depending on how often each mode gets a map. You know, it's breaking the content down and reducing it even more.
a normal like arena player or whatever, or what I would consider to be normal, you got 2 maps in 3 months. 2 maps, that's it. Like 2 freaking maps and like 2 guns, man. You gotta do better than that. You really do. So XDefiant still has that selling point for me personally, which is fast-paced arcade gameplay, no skill-based matchmaking, fantastic looking maps. Like, it's lighthearted, it's fun, it's enjoyable. The core,
I wouldn't say fantastic looking maps. I think the maps look good. I like the color palette in this game. I think it's visually appeasing. It's bright. It's colorful. I like this in shooting. That's one thing I'll give about Black Ops. The new Black Ops has come out, or the beta. The game's bright. Like, you know, unless I'm playing like a gritty tactical shooter, when I'm playing an arcade game, I like it to be colorful, man. You know, that's why I like things like Overwatch. I like Valorant. I'm liking Deadlock. There's color to the game. It pops, you know. It feels like a nice place to spend a lot of time in. But the game isn't pretty, that's for sure, like visually, and I understand why it looks like that because it's made to run on as many things as possible, which is a good thing. But it's not like the game's even designed to try and really be competitive like that, like, you know what I mean? I think they would have done a little bit better if they'd have leaned a little bit more into an art style potentially.
gameplay is still incredible, but they have to put out more content, and apparently soon, otherwise the game may fold within its first year, which would be a travesty on all accounts. Like, if you're a fan of shooter games in general, maybe you're not like a huge XDefiant fan. It's weird if you're listening this far in the video if you're not, but maybe you're not the biggest fan of XDefiant. You should be rooting for this game, because XDefiant, having a game with no skill-based matchmaking being ridiculously successful is fantastic for the games industry. Also,
you know, I don't necessarily agree with that. Like, don't get me wrong, I root for games to succeed all the time because I want better games. But I think if a game doesn't succeed and it's because it hasn't been nurtured properly, that's on the people who make the game. And I don't think just because it's got no skill-based matchmaking is a reason that, oh, the game should survive because of that. You know? I think the game needs more, much more than that for it to be something that requires people to give it the time. And obviously people did give it the time, but there's a lot of reasons why they obviously are not giving it their time now. And I don't think you can just go, well, the game's got no skill-based matchmaking, man. It'll suck if we lose this game. It's like, well, the game needs to bring more to the table then, doesn't it?
having proper competition for games like COD is also good.
This game ain't giving no competition to Call of Duty. At the end of the day, no game's giving competition to Call of Duty. Like, that's the problem in the shooter space. You're always going to be compared to COD. You've got to do something a little bit different, in my opinion. If you're trying to be like COD, which XDefiant was definitely trying to be like COD, you got to come with like some serious A game, you know, some serious A game. And I don't think XDefiant was anywhere near that sort of, I guess, quality, really, that polish, that, like, you know, I'm not too sure how to describe it. Call of Duty players who play regularly will. I used to play COD a lot, and I get it, you know. I can't be asked playing COD all the time now. I can't be asked to play these type of shooters that much anymore. I like a little bit more comp shooters now. But yeah, man, this was never going to compete with Call of Duty.
As well.
It's not going to happen.
But right now, the post-launch support has just been so dismal that the game is essentially on life support. They're on borrowed time. They can't even get 20,000 people playing the game concurrently across every platform, and it's a free game that just came out a couple months ago. XDefiant's in a really bad place right now, and I'm interested to see where it's going to go moving forward. I'm interested to see how the XDefiant devs are going to react to this news, because of course, if it's leaking to Tom Henderson, all the devs already knew about this stuff like weeks and months ago. You know, they knew how things.
Yeah, I think it's going to go in one way. It's just going to keep going down, if I'm honest. Nobody talks about the game anymore. And I think with these kind of games, specifically, once the community stops talking about it, the game's kind of dead, you know what I mean?
We're going. So hopefully they have a game plan, and hopefully they have some things in motion right now to right the ship when it comes to XDefiant, because it would be a damn shame if we lost this game because of how incredible it is at its very core. Ladies and gentlemen, that is it for this video here today. I hope you enjoyed it. Leave your thoughts and feedback down there in the comments on XDefiant and the current fiasco happening within it, and stay tuned, of course, more Black Ops 6 beta videos coming up. I hope you guys all enjoyed, and I hope you guys all have a wonderful day.
Alright, cool. Yeah, I guess it sucks, man. It sucks. It sucks to suck. But I think the game, it needs to be doing a lot more. I really do. I enjoyed the game, but it's just another one of those games for me where it doesn't really do anything special to make it stand out. But I guess I'm really biased in the sense that these sort of games for me now, and I suppose not always have been, because they definitely weren't. I used to play COD a lot, but that was a different multiplayer age, 10, well, fucking hell, 15 years ago now, 16 years ago, depending on which Call of Duty you're talking about. We're talking 2007 through to 2012 was the glory years, in my opinion, for COD. Boomer take. But I do think they were the glory years. And I think it was because the multiplayer space was a lot different then. You expected a lot less in a way. It was just a different time, you know what I mean? Like, and you can't go back to that. And I just think that these sort of games, just like, there's not enough there to make me keep playing the game. Like, after an hour or two, I'm just like, I'm fatigued, man. I'm done. I'm bored. Like, I've done enough. I've played every map a couple of times over. There's only so many ways engagements go down and maps play out, and I don't know. And this is why I like to say things like Valorant. You might be like, well, there's only so many ways things go down, but there's not. There's so much more intricacy and nuance to things. And then you look at things like that Deadlock, and again, you've got one map, but there's so many different ways that things go down, and I can play that for hours. Where like Call of Duty and things like X-Defiant now, 2 hours in, and I'm like, I've had enough, man. I've had enough. Maybe I'm just getting old. Maybe that's what it is. But it can't be just the case, because it seems like this game's getting old. Because it's about to die. But yeah, X-Defiant could be shutting down if it continues on this path. You should check out Nero Cinema, guys. Show some love. How you doing anyway, though, Neo? Hey, Jamie, what's going on? Welcome to the stream. Yeah. Oh, yeah, guys, as well, if you haven't already, drop a like on the stream. It's very much appreciated. Very much appreciated. So yeah, we've got two kind of negative Nancy stories there. Wuthering Waves hasn't had a good, well, in comparison to other titles, hasn't had the best revenue month, and X-Defiant looks like it's a struggling. It's a struggling. I've got the hiccups, man. Got bloody hiccups.
Play Wuthering Waves, you can see.
All right, then. I want to watch this video. You tired? You stayed up too late watching the Avengers movie. Hey, as long as you had fun, though. As long as you had fun. All right, then. I want to watch this video. We've spoke about power creep in the past. How I don't believe that there's power creep in the game yet. A lot of people were saying it when Jinty came out and with Changli. I still don't think that's the case. And then that's not to say it's not going to happen. But let's see what Gamba AJ's got to say about it, guys. If you haven't checked him out, go show some love. Power creep is not real in Wuthering Waves. Let's see what he's got to say.
Yo, YouTube, what's going on? AJ here, back at again with another video. And in today's video, we're going to be going over why power creep is not real in Wuthering Waves.
Okay.
We're going to talk about it more in depth. We're going to explain what future characters are most likely going to be receiving buffs, as if you play Wuthering Waves, you can see in certain characters' kits, there's certain buffs and descriptions that are in each character, but they don't have the right teammate. We're going to go in depth on that, as well as
Synergy is a massive factor in that, isn't it? Yeah, again, we're not there yet. But that's not to say that we won't be. And we were just talking about the revenue. If we keep having months where revenue's not great, maybe Kuro will be incentivized to power creep banners. I hope that doesn't happen. And I hope that revenue, even if it is at these levels, is enough for Kuro for that not to happen as well.
why Havoc Rover may potentially also be getting the most amount of buffs, and you may want to start investing in him if you haven't. But without further ado, if you like the content on this channel, make sure you please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you guys for all the support. We're almost to 4K.
Man, I can't wait for Camellia.
Top Wuthering creator in the space,
I
guys.
will say though, if Camellia comes right after Shorekeeper, maybe that's going to buff the revenue. It might get tailed back a little bit just because of the month that we've had now, with a lot of people skipping Sheshi because they've looked at Shorekeeper's kit. That's on you, Kuro, for drip leaking stuff too early. And then obviously Zhang Liao being free. So a lot of people are going to have the mats to be able to potentially pull Shorekeeper without spending, or at least lose their 50-50 and then maybe grind through the rest of the updates to get on their guarantee. But yeah, having Camellia right after Shorekeeper should hopefully bolster the revenue in that regard, because if they are back to back, that's a banger banner, banger back to back banner, should I say?
Guys, thank you for everything so far, but without further ado, let's get into the video. Okay guys, so let's start off by talking about Jinxie, as she is the big talking point, and then we're going to get over to Jian, Changli, and Robert's potential and talk about these three characters and the future buffs they're going to be receiving. But let's start with Jinxie, like I said. So when Jinxie released in the game, guys, as you guys know, this character kind of ruined the perception of everybody's mind of a DPS. She was the first character that kind of came in that you saw a bar filled up. She had crazy animations, crazy hype, and then you would press the skill button, her enhanced skill, right, with the dragon, and she would nuke the entire map and you would see the big number. If you look at
Dude, what's funny as well, that ability, you know, if you're playing co-op and somebody like stands halfway across the map, that can see that going off, he's like a freaking nuke.
over time and damage and stuff like that, it's not like Jian or Changli are ever bad or too far behind, but Jinxie's big number and everything like that, people kind of look at that and are like, oh man, like this is crazy, this character does way more damage, but they don't talk about how long it takes to get to that point.
Exactly. She does more. This is what I've said before. She does more. And if you're min-maxing and you want all of the numbers all of the time, she's the way to go. But then you've got somebody like Jian who might do, let's say, I don't know, let's say 10% less, but you're going to get that a lot more often and a lot easier. So it's like, it levels out, you know what I mean? You're going to be consistently, continually, easily doing that high damage compared to where you're going to be able to do super high numbers. You got to work a little bit more to get it, and it takes a little bit longer to get those high numbers. Of course, you can do more with her, but you're not going to be able to do it so easy. Not that she's hard to use, but she's just a little bit more complex than Jian, isn't he? He is the Crayon Eater character.
Wait, one of the things about Jinxie,
I like eating crayons,
even though she is the best DPS in the game, guys, and that should be uncontested, is the fact of team building in this game. So let's put Jian right here. Let's put Changli right here for a second. Now you'll notice the ratings on the top
Changli's
left
burst
side,
damage is insane,
though.
though.
We have Jinxie's team 10 out of 10, Jian's team 8.5 out of 10, Changli's team 8 out of 10. Now don't worry about the ratings, guys, as some of you may be confused and being like, what? No, why is it not 9? Why is it not a 10? These characters are really good. No. It's not about their individual characters I'm talking about. It's comparing their teams to Jinxie's team, and I'm gonna tell you guys how these team comps are going to go to another level, and these two characters in general will be getting a buff and close the gap between.
Hey, when Yoo-Hoo comes, Jian's definitely getting a buff because it's going to buff Mordefi, which in turn is going to buff Jian as well. If you're going to be using Mordefi with Jian, obviously, you know, you can use Yinlin as well, I guess, if you want. But if you're going to be running Mordefi and then you're bringing in Yoo-Hoo as well, that team definitely gets better straight away.
Between Jinxie. So allow me to explain. So Jinxie now, if you went all in and you really are a Jinxie fan, most of you guys have 1 or 2 team comps. You are either running.
We don't talk about her. We don't talk about her.
Because this team comp right here, where you have Jay-Z or Jay-Z, or however you like to pronounce her name. I like to call her Jay-Z like always. And you have Verena. Now, most people have that as a standard team comp. You know, Verena's been working overtime as her sustain.
Bruh, Verena gets no time off. That's why, again, I've been waiting for Shorekeeper. And that's why I think drip leaking Shorekeeper was a mistake on Kuro's part. Knowing full well they're probably going to have a slower month. Drip leaking her, showing off that info so early, and how insane a kit looks on paper was just, I think that slipped up massively there.
And if you don't have Verena, then you guys are normally choosing to go for one more character, and it's the Discord mod over here, Yan Wu. Now, we'll just go with the most popular one in Verena, excuse me. So with this team comp and with JG coming out buffing characters like Jinxie.
See, like, this is me. I ain't even bothered about me maxing to that degree. Like, if I'm really, like, for me personally wanting to do a bit more, I'll just whack in Jinxie and then I'll throw Yinlin in there as well, because I just love her off-field damage potential. I know it's not the most efficient, but it's just like, yeah, man, that's how I'm rolling.
Like Changli, and is going to potentially buff future burst DPS is because of the skill. If you notice one thing about Jinxie's team comp, right? What does it have, guys, that you know that anybody can point out? If you look at it, they are all premium units. So what ended up happening was when Jinxie released, there was options for her, but she got a premium support that benefited her. On top of that, Verena's just universal and is going to be amazing, but we'll get to the sustain category.
This is what I was saying before about power creep as well is not a thing for me, because you're going to have support characters that are going to be coming out in the future that are going to buff older roster characters, you know? Obviously, Jinxie's got a very premium team now if you want to be more efficient. But for Gian, not so much. But in future, obviously, like I say, with Yoo-Hoo coming out, maybe potentially buffing Mordefi, which potentially buffs Gian, well, which is going to do that. You're going to have 2 premiums then. Well, even though she's not premium, but you know, well, she's not. She's 4-star, isn't she, actually? So that's not true. So yeah, scratch that. I forgot she's a 4-star, and I was thinking she's a 5-star, but she's not. She's a 4-star. So yeah, again, though it still stands in the future as we get more support characters that are premium characters. That's how you kind of balance the power creep. You level things out. You allow older characters to get better with new characters coming out that are specifically designed to boost them. Dude, for a split second then I was like, she is 5-star? She's not. Shut up now.
Just 1 second. This
was
is
gonna
a
move me.
very premium and expensive team comp. You know what I mean? Most people are going for Jinxie and the weapon, or they have a substitute. And if you substituted her weapon, most people went for Jay-Z and then got her weapon, okay, or something like that. And Verena's just easy to build. Supports are always going to be easy to build. But this is an expensive team comp, guys. Legitimately, if we weren't rewarded early on in Wuthering Waves, shout out to the Kuro devs, best devs in the game, for giving us free rewards. This, you know, it's not guaranteed we all would have had Verena, and this is very expensive. Now compare this to Gian's team comp for a second. We know he has Mortefi, and we know you can slap Verena on there. For just the sake of argument, we'll throw Verena right here. And this is kind of like the standard team comp for Verena. Now, what am I talking about? Why is power creep not bad? If you really notice the difference, right, guys, between a Jinxie and a Gian team, the big difference is the premium unit, that sport unit that's came out. One thing about Gian, and we're going to talk about him first, and why I think Gian's going to be closing the gap first on Jinxie, is the simple fact of that Mortefi is a 4-star unit. A lot of people don't understand this about gacha games. If you look at any of the big 4 gachas, besides ZZZ, because ZZZ is a new game, you
hey, before we even get like a premium roster change there, you bringing Yoo-Hoo to buff Mordefi, he's automatically getting better, and his team just gets better anyway without having the 5-star premium substitute, should I say.
Look at HSR, you can look at Genshin Impact. Aside from certain 4-star supports, right? I'm talking about the most universal supports. So for HSR, that'd be Tingyun. For Genshin Impact, that'd be like Bennett, right? Those characters were really universal in terms of buffing. However, Mortefi is covering a niche. Mortefi is not this all-around universal buffer. Mortefi buffs heavy attack. Yeah. That is the one niche that Gian has. However, what is one thing we don't have, guys? We don't have a JG. We don't have a Yinlin for Arrow. I've talked about this before and how Jian Xin is kind of this anomaly right now in the game, where it's like if you don't have Yinlin, she buffs Resonance Liberation. She's a jack of all trades. That's good. But I will say, Gian's team has heavy potential to get better, just because in these big gachas, guys, and I'm letting you know ahead of time, and be prepared, and this is a big W if you're a Gian main, that Mortefi is a 4-star. Expect Mortefi to eventually get power creep. I don't know if it'll be a sub DPS. I don't know if it'll be a sustain, but we could see a character in a future that probably does energy regen, heavy attack buff if it's DPS, right, and does a lot of damage.
I think that's safe to assume that's going to happen for sure. But again, though, still, Mordefi is going to get a little buff soon with Yoo-Hoo. If it seems like a kit works the way it does, it's going to make him a little bit better. It's going to make his Resonance Liberation better, which in turn is going to obviously buff your boy. So his team is going to get a little bit better. But agreed. Obviously, 4-star characters are going to get power creep. That's a thing that's going to happen. It's about balancing the power creep on your premium stuff, really, isn't it? Because even if you're free to play, you're gonna be getting 5 stars here and there. Obviously, not as much as you're paying players. You're gonna get them, you know. So it's about keeping the balance there. At the end of the day, over time, 4 stars are gonna start to get left behind. That's where, again, as I said, really good 5-star premium support roles come in that are specifically designed to lift up older characters and sometimes lift up some of these older 4-stars. Obviously, maybe not really your support characters, because of course you're not going to want a support to design to support. That's kind of stupid. You know what I'm saying?
Damage that will probably be on Gion's team, and just the fact of that, right, that's gonna boost the all-around team's damage. Yes, not just the individual. People look at Jinxie as the individual, but need to take into consideration that no, she's operating with her full team. This is team damage. Gian will get this increase because of that, and his team will do more damage, closing the gap on Jinxie. Let's transition over to Changli. Now, Changli is a 8 out of 10, right? The reason why Gian has the 8.5 is the fact that Gian kind of has a 4-star version of a dedicated teammate, right? Now, with Changli, there is one huge issue. Changli has units she works with well, however, none can take full.
This is why I was talking about it in the leaks yesterday of a full team fusion. He's looking at a year for that to happen, which is a long-ass time if you really want a good premium fusion team that's going to clap. Although Changli still freaking claps.
Full account or full action of her buff, which is not only fusion buff but resonance liberation buff. Characters can only take parts of that and, you know, utilize it. Encore takes part of that, and it's a great team comp. Not really a great team comp, but a high damaging team. Now, why do I say it's not a great team comp? Essentially what Encore does is, even though she can utilize a 20% fusion buff, you're just slapping 2 burst DPSs and doing a lot of damage. This team comp is good. However, I do believe, right guys, especially with the resonance liberation bonus and the fusion damage bonus, Kuro has essentially said with Changli, it's like, hey guys, we're not done cooking with our girl, because there may be a potential, and I'm just throwing it out there, what's it called? There may be a potential future DPS unit that's gonna come out that is fusion, because her kit basically hints at it. You know what I mean? Like I even said this back then when Changli was releasing. This character is not at her full potential at all for her team, because they need to release the future unit that is going to come out that will synergize with her. On top of that, same as usual, you can run any sustain, Verena, or anything like that, Baiji, or whatever it is, guys. But I do believe in the future, if you're gonna ask me what does a Changli team comp look like, if I'm gonna tell you guys the honest truth, this sustain, there's probably not gonna be a sustain on Changli's team comp. What I see in the future is a future 5-star brand new unit that's probably going to be a fusion character that can utilize Changli's buffs and everything like that. On top of that, we're going to see a sub DPS. Yes, I do believe there will be, and I don't know if it'll be fusion or a different element, I do believe Changli's future team comp is lining to be another 5-star limited unit and a sub DPS, making this team comp the offensive heavy hybrid team comp. If you've noticed one thing, guys, what is the one core thing of these 3 different team comps in the gameplay? You have your super heavy burst team, you have your what I like to call 100 miles per hour, where the main DPS wants to stay on field as much as possible, going
hyper carry,
and you have the hybrid units, which are between burst and
so I think Gian is, he's a hyper carry, isn't he, really, you know?
Buffers. So Kuro is kind of like labeling these characters into 3 fields already. You know who else plays into those fields? If you wanted to do 0 to 100, right, and talk about it, Zhang Liao plays in this field, you know what I mean? Where is it? Calcharo plays into this field. Like, those are those units. If we want to talk about burst units, you know what I mean, like Changli and Jinxie are some of the main ones right now that are coming out, but expect more. Now let's get into our final discussion, right? But before we move on, I want to talk about these two. These two, when these teams come out and when these future units come out, are going to be closing the gap on Jinxie, because I'm almost 100% confident Jinxie is done getting the team that she needed is already out. You know what I mean? Like, we have our Jay-Z, we have Jinxie. You can run Yanwu if you want to be more offensive. You can run a sustain. Am I saying she won't get another buff in the future from another character? No, absolutely not. There may be a better quality of life character, but I do think the only way to improve Jinxie here on out going forward just depends on how much investment you really want to put in her. Now, let's talk about somebody interesting. Havoc Rover. Havoc Rover is a little bit of an interesting situation right now, guys, because Havoc Rover, if you've ever looked at...
Oh, get that out of the fucking tears, bro. Are you mad? Are you mad? You've got the female Havoc Rover out of here. This dude deserves banning from the game.
My tier list before, I've always had him at high S tier. Why is that? He's a great DPS.
She
does a lot of damage, very flexible in many team comps. Now, one thing we don't have either, and I know I'm going over the supportive units a lot, is another like sub DPS slash what's it called, any sort of supportive Havoc unit, you know what I mean, that's really gonna take advantage of like these Havoc DPSs. Now, one thing that I talked about was interesting was what is the route that Kuro Games wants to go with Havoc Rover. We noticed that we need 3 resonance chains, and we know that Havoc Rover can also be played with a team like Chang Li. If you've seen, I think Gotcha Smack may have ran it. I think others have also done the same sort of combo, because you can utilize Dreamless, that echo, and get off high burst damage really fast. Another thing,
I think we depending on your echoes as well, and sometimes even your weapon, there is a variety and interchangeability with a lot of this. This is one thing I like about the nuance of Kuro. I think that's why we're getting the teams the way we're getting, and that might take time for certain characters, because it's not necessarily designed just to specifically build a specific team, that this is the Jian team, this is the Jinsa team, this is the Changli team. Of course, if you want to min-max, go for all the stats, go for all the numbers, that's going to be the way to get that. But you're also going to be able to do different things in different ways by switching things out, using particular sets, using the certain Sonata effects. This is again where I say, like, the Void Thunder effect does need to be changed, because it's not so much that it's just a little bit more convoluted to get. It's just it's focused a little bit too much, rather than like when it's something like just, let's just say, an intro. That allows every character then to use that set to its maximum, because everybody's got an intro. But then if you design it in the way that Void Thunder designed, all the characters have to kind of be designed in that specific way, or they're just not getting the benefit of Void Thunder, and it kind of limits future Electro characters that want to benefit from that then, which I think is a mistake on Kuro's part, and I think is definitely one of the major things that needs to change with Void Thunder, in that it needs to be a bit more of a broader buff, basically, for the Sonata effect, so it allows more characters to take the benefits of the buff, and they don't have to be designed in a specific way to get the most out of it.
thing I could see potentially with Havoc Rover right now is we get those 3 resonance chains, his power boosts up, you know what I mean, as far as how much damage, what his potential is, and then he gets, for lack of, like, we'll use Yinlin for example, let's say sub DPS, or
man, for me, like, obviously I know where we're talking, like, we're trying to talk like as maximum as possible here, but Yinlin for me is just great on everybody, you know, she's just great on everybody, because her off-field damage is insane, and especially if you're running anybody where you want to give them as much field time as possible, she's brilliant for that. Might not be the most optimal, but like in terms of, like I say, for me, this is where the variety comes in, of just making things simple sometimes and playing almost on autopilot. Great characters, you know, Jian, Yinlin, brilliant for that sort of stuff.
Future unit that is a dual DPS driver, because of the way he plays, I could potentially see Havoc Rover being with another character that is a Chang Li level character. Yes, I'm talking about a quick burst character that can nuke the field, that when you swap to them, right, gives like Havoc buffs or in whatever Havoc Rover really needs, right, and utilize his kit. Then he gets on field and starts wrecking.
I think the thing is, I don't know if we'll ever necessarily get characters that are specifically designed for like Spectral Rover or Havoc Rover, because of the fact that we're going to continually get new attribute characteristics for the characters. It would be a little bit remiss to design support or sub DPS or sustain characters particularly for the Rover, because they're going to be able to benefit from a myriad of different characters when you're switching attributes. There might be characters that might later on get designed that work a little bit better with them, but like they're going to be able to take advantage of a multitude of different characters, aren't they, depending on the attribute you're using and when you're switching to and forth. I think we're going to probably see Havoc DPSs come out that'll potentially get more support in that regards first. Now, I could be wrong on that. I don't know how Kuro are going to go with that, but I just think the fact that you can switch leads me to think that it would be, I feel almost like maybe a little bit of wasted time spent on designing a character that's not totally designed for the Rover, but more specified for the Rover, because obviously you're going to be switching a lot, aren't you? You know, the arrows come in, lightning, electros come in, you know what I mean, kind of thing. And then it's like, well, that support really just doesn't work with that character anymore, when there can be more tailored to another team, maybe.
Havoc all over the place. In fact, it's almost there that depending on if Chang Li gets her teammate first or if Havoc Rover gets first, Havoc Rover could actually pass Chang Li. yes, he could actually pass Chang Li for now if he gets his teammate first. And I think Havoc Rover, guys, if you haven't built him, is one of the best investments you can make going forward right now, because he's already good at 3 resonance chains. You're going to get R6 plus a potential future buffer, because we know we're going to get all types of elements, like, because that's what they're going to do. You know what I mean? They've already showed the formula already. Like, they did JG, they have Yin.
Because as well, what you got to take into account as well, there's a potential for Rover to become a support role for Jian, because we're looking at the potential Aero Rover could be a support / sub DPS character that could really, obviously we haven't seen the kit yet, so we've got no idea. We're just knowing the role that they're fitting in. Now, those roles can be quite vague, can't they? You know, you've got the idea, right, this is sub DPS, but what does that mean beyond its kit? You know, you don't really know until you see the kit, do you? So the Rover could become a support for Jian's team. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's the potential for that to happen. The potential to take Jian up to another level could be through Rover being the vehicle for that in the next switch that we get whenever the next story beat happens for that to become a thing. Yeah, what's going on, Kieran?
Cover the elements across the board. So Havoc Rover, guys, has the most amount of potential. Now, this goes back to our original power creep discussion, and I'm gonna get to my final thoughts now. Is there power creep in Wuthering Waves?
No.
And is it bad? No. I don't think so, guys. I really just think what's ended up happening is that we got the first character with the first complete team comp. You know what I mean? Like, literally. And if you're talking about, oh, there may be a future sustain that's going to come out that Jinsei could benefit from, maybe. But most sustains that we've understood that are like Verena, Kuro Games right now is doing.
The thing is, anyway, it's evident that most people haven't given a shit about the power creep either as well, because it seems that most people haven't really bothered to pull on Sheji anyway. So, and I'm not saying that doesn't necessarily mean there's no power creep, because power creep's not an amount of people who pulled on a banner. It's what the banner does, isn't it, really, to the game. But again, yeah, I don't agree. I mean, I agree. We've definitely seen her get buffed. This is probably the most powerful team in the game at the moment, the most meta, depending on what you're doing and what you want to do. But of course, that's going to change, and I think we are going to see other teams step up. I just think at the minute, Jinsei just puts out insane numbers anyway, and even more so now. And which you could argue, well, that's power creep. But again, as I said, you can get not exactly the same numbers, but not far off. Way easier with somebody like Jian. You know what I mean? So it just depends on what you're getting out of the game, really. You can do a lot of damage consistently, easily, without having to really worry too much about the rest of your team with Jian. That's the thing. He's a hyper carry in that regards.
Doing something that's like, they want to make characters very, very universal, which is good in my opinion. Yeah. But yeah, that's it for this video, guys. If you're...
That's one thing I've noticed. Kuro do seem to be making things as interoperable as possible. So there is a lot more nuance, you know. This might be the most efficient way, but you're still going to get really good choices if you switch a bunch of things out. And it feels like there's that experimentation there as well. Like, right, let's try a different echo set and let's switch this character into supporting this character now, and actually let's move this team around, and we're going to switch out the signature weapon, and oh, actually now we're getting this. And you know, there's of course at the minute as well, we're limited by the roster. The game hasn't been out long as well, so we've only got so much that we can do at the moment. I think we'll obviously over the coming months is where we're going to really see if there is power creep in the game. They are the most powerful team, but I don't think there is power creep in the game. I agree.
Jian main, if you're a Chang Li main, and if you haven't invested in Rover, I'd highly recommend investing in these characters if you're interested.
It's very small to the point where
have fun with the units
just doesn't matter, you know?
And I also wanted to go back and tell you guys, like the original discussion we had, is power creep real? No, I don't think so. I just think we have a character that...
I think you're always going to have power creep to a degree, but it's the level of it, isn't it? You know, if you're talking 10% every freaking banner, then that's a problem. But if you're talking small amounts here and there, and you really need to bring things together to get that step up, it's not that you've got one character that's power creep in the game. It's just the combination of these characters is super meta, and that's always going to happen.
You visually saw the animations, you saw the burst, and just has her complete team comp. while these characters right there are missing their premium supportive partners, and when they come out, they're going to close that distance with Gen C. Am I saying there isn't going to be a future DPS that probably power creeps all of them? Maybe, but honestly, as of right now, it's hard for me to see Kuro pushing out another unit that's even going to be higher than Gen C, because I think they'll just still be in the same spot as like Jian and Changli.
I think they'll be mad too just yet. I'm not saying it won't, but they'll be mad too just yet, because people are, you know, they're gonna put themselves in that cycle of doom then, where they're gonna have to keep doing that, because people are gonna be like, big number, need to get, you know what I mean? They're gonna see the numbers go up on the banner and be like, well, that worked, let's go again, I guess. And then it's just gonna be a bad time for everybody.
Individually, they'll be a really good unit, but they just don't have their complete team comp ready to go right away. That's it for this video, guys. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll talk to y'all next time. Peace.
Hey, what's up, guys? Riff here. So
Yeah, good video actually. I didn't think he was going to actually go down into so much into the team comp in regards to the different teams and how that's affecting it. Because like obviously if you go into the team comp, it looks like Power Creep is there a little bit more rather than specifically looking at the characters individually, which is probably the wrong way to do it, because each character doesn't exist in a vacuum. They all synergize together in different ways, and of course that's how the game works. So, you know, good video that was. I like Gamba AJ though. He does make good videos, guys. You should go check him out, show some love, subscribe, all that good stuff. But yeah, I don't think Power Creep is a problem in the game at the moment. Yeah, really don't. I really don't. The issue I have with the Terrorverse, that forces you different teams with the figure limit unless you have the characters. It's incredibly difficult to dwell in it. Yeah, that's the whole point. That's the whole design for it, really. It's the end games to try and get you to push to pull, really, isn't it? To build your team out, to expand your roster, to spend time in grinding your characters, to level them up, to potentially be like, well, maybe I'll buy the podcast. Maybe I'll do some, you know, I'll buy some bundles for some mats potentially. You know what I mean? It's all to push you in that position, which they all do. They do all do. But yeah, it's the part of the gacha genre which, like, you know, just gotta fucking suck it up, I guess. Really, it does suck though. I feel you on it, bro. I feel you on it. Should we watch one last?
so you can collect a lot of the artifacts.
Should we watch one last video? Let's watch one last video, and then we're gonna jump into the game because it is 2:30. All right, then. Did you even buy asteroids in? We have no idea. If you just go into the store, you could just straight buy them. Well, you buy Lunites, and then you convert the Lunites into asteroids. It's a 1-for-1 though, so like 300 Lunites is 300 asteroids. I mean, one of the best ways to do it, in my opinion, is to buy the Lunite pass, because you pay $4.99 for the Lunite pass. You get 90 Lunites every single day. You get 90 asteroids every single day. You get 300 Lunites up front. I think it works out to, what does that work out to? Like 2,700 asteroids plus the 300 Lunites, something like that. All right, then, let's check out this video, man. The title's caught my eye. Kazahana, we like his videos. We like him. Do we like this? I don't know. Genshin Impact's new update is terrible. I've been hearing a lot of people have been really enjoying it, actually. I haven't played it myself yet. I'm kind of worried to go back to Genshin in a way, just because of the movement system in Wuthering Waves, and the combat's going to just make it feel a bit archaic. I don't know. People are going to be like, oh, Glazer. It's true. That's how I feel. But let's see. I am going to go back to the game. I do really like Genshin. I just want to put it out there. I know I joke around. I do really like the game. The update does look gorgeous as well, and I'm interested. But let's see what he's got to say. The update's terrible. I feel a bit of bait here.
Genshin Impact has a massive problem at the moment. If you don't know, the Netland update is actually finally here, and Genshin Impact and Hoyoverse like to release a lot of quality of life updates to the game to pretty much improve the overall user experience, whether that's from like changing a couple of the graphics around the world. And one of the changes he actually made to the Netland update was
it does
the
look
changing
beautiful,
of
doesn't
the
it, the
artifact
area
system. Now, if you don't know, currently, if I was to go...
Apparently, people are saying that the artifact system's a bit trash, though, as well. And it is, am I wrong? The new traversal mechanics that have been brought into the game are locked behind banners, aren't they? You don't just get access to that. They haven't just added a new way to get around the game for everybody. It's for particular characters. Am I right in that? Let me know in the comments. Let me know in the chat, because That's kind of what I've been assuming, which is very typical of Hoyoverse if that's the case, which kind of sucks. Just change the fucking system altogether, get rid of sprint stamina, make it easier to climb, and just make it more fun to get around the map, please.
Go into my inventory here, you can actually see all of these artifacts that I've collected over the years, and most of this has been from grinding the domains. If you don't know, domains are a place where you can collect a lot of the artifacts, and pretty much you do them over and over and over and over again until you get the right substats that you want. As you can see, like, this one is pretty bad, to be honest, still.
Where have we heard that before?
But again, you're looking for certain kind of stats in the artifacts, which can take forever and can often take months for some people just to get the perfect artifact, which again, wasn't a very good system in the first place. But Hoyoverse actually came up to a solution of this, actually not in Genshin Impact. They did it in Honkai Star. So Honkai Star actually had this change where you could actually send
Honkai was the place where Hoyo looked at all the mistakes and was like, let's apply them to that game. And then when people were like, you're going to apply them to this game as well, and they were like, nah.
size a lot of the relics and turn them into new ones, but also give you the ability to change the stats on them, because we've always had strong boxes in Genshin Impact where you can pretty much, keep re-rolling for artifacts, but we never had the opportunity to actually change the stats ourselves in exchange for some kind of currency or something like that. Well, in the Netline update, they finally did it and added the artifact transmuter, but there is a massive problem with this, which we're going to get into in this video.
Right.
This is
Hit me with the knowledge.
bad, and it's almost like
Hit me
they're
with the
scamming us here
knowledge.
with how they actually presented it in the
This is one thing I've seen. I've seen a bunch of people say, yo, the new system's a scam. So I'm interested here. I've heard people saying they like the update. I must admit, Natlan looks gorgeous. It does look beautiful, but I don't think that was a thing that is a surprise. End of the day, don't get me wrong, Wuthering Waves is like a step up in graphical fidelity, but the art style of Genshin, it's beautiful. Pretty much every area in the game looks good, so that isn't a surprise.
The update. And this was actually brought to light by Ryuku, so I definitely recommend going and following him and, watching his video as well. He's a very great creator, and again, he's talked about this at length and very clearly shows how angry he is about it. But in this video, I'm talking you through why this artifact system is absolutely terrible, and why it needs to be fixed, and also just give some more of my own thoughts on it. But before I get this video, don't forget to leave a like.
We're learning things today. Like I said, I haven't played the update, so I'm interested to see.
A ton of cups and tubs. And also go over to my anime channel as well. We've got a ton of anime videos coming out on there soon. And let's get back into the video. So as I said, we got this artifact transmuter.
Oh, speaking of anybody, speaking of anime, has anybody watched the Terminator Zero anime that's just dropped? I think it came out yesterday or the day before. Recently, anyway. Still haven't yet to watch it. I really want to watch it. But yeah, let me know if you've seen it.
Which is a gadget. You can pretty much click use, and then it will pull up all of these different artifact sets, which is great. So
okay, yeah, that's cool.
You can actually select one of these. You can actually define, the stats and everything, which is just great.
Yeah,
but
that's
how
good.
do you actually get these? Well, first off, you actually need a sanctifying elixir, which, yeah, is pretty much a currency that you use to, get stats and stuff like that. And pretty much this needs to be at 100%, and it's kind of based off of these plus signs here. Now, if I click this one, which is 20, you actually get 30 added to the thing. You're going to be needing to add about 3 to 4 plus 20 fully maxed out artifacts, which again, first of all...
Okay. It's not looking so great now. Let's continue.
Is a big investment just for a stat. Now, obviously, after you do that, you get the sanctifying elixir, which...
Okay, so that... Oh, okay. Yeah. That's looking even worse now, actually. Just for a stat. Why is it that everything in Genshin, specifically Genshin, I'm not just saying Hoyo, specifically Genshin, does everything have to be such a toil? It's like they want you work in the fields, It's like with Star Rail and Zenless, they're like, hey, look at all this cool new stuff we're adding. We're trying to change things up here. Yo, you get new stuff. You get new stuff. This is kind of cool. This is actually a really good quality of life option. And then Genshin's just out here like, sir, can I come in? And they're like, no! You know what I mean? It's like, what the hell, man?
Okay, great. Then you go over to the artifact definition, say if you wanted to actually make one, and then we can go over to something like the sands here. We can choose a main stat, and then here we can actually select some minor stats. So again, we can do...
I must admit, though, this is one thing I'd like to see applied to shinies in Wuthering Waves, that we can choose a main stat and one substat. I think that'd be a really cool addition to shinies and make them actually have some use beyond just kind of looking cool.
Crit rate, crit damage. That's usually a stat that a lot of people want to use. You click confirm, and there we go. It costs 2. It costs 2 of these. So again, you have to be putting in 8 fully maxed out artifact sets.
Oh, bro, like, it's like, yo, you're like, okay, all right, I've done it. I've got me 4. Let me go get me stats. It's like, no. What you need to do is go do that all again, bitch. Like, bro.
Which is kind of insane. There's a very, very heavy investment into a lot of the artifacts, especially just for a couple of substats that you want perfect. And again, it doesn't even decide the other 2 substats.
It kind of just makes it worthless, really. Not entirely, I guess, if you want to try and be a little bit more specific. But the time cost for that, it's just like, yeah, nah, you can miss me with that.
Actually go into the piece. Obviously, they could be terrible. You could get like double defense, something like that.
Huh?
Making the whole piece pretty
You
much.
spend that extra time to do that, you get your stats, and then it's crap anyway. So it's just like, you know, this is why I say a system like in Wuthering Waves with the shinies, it just becomes like a kind of drop rate to potentially get them. You choose the first stat, you choose the second stat, the rest of the stats are crap. It's okay, that sucks, but it isn't so bad. But then having to do that to create them, and then the potential to get the shitty stats anyway, and just have a bricked freaking artifact. It's like, why? Why am I doing this?
Useless. So again, it doesn't make sense why it costs so much and you get so little out of it. But that isn't the only thing that's terrible about this update.
But wait, there's more.
Because you may have thought that, you know, having a heavy investment wasn't that bad. Obviously, you know, some people do have a lot of artifacts, so they do just like level up a ton.
I wonder if that's the thinking, to play devil's advocate. They're thinking that most of the people that are going to be here, they're going to be doing this right now, are going to have had a lot of time investment. They're going to have a lot of stuff to apply, so it's not going to feel like it's too much of a time investment in that regards, because it's just all there waiting anyway. But even if that is the fact, again, playing devil's advocate, saying that's there where they're coming from, it's just like, just, you know, do something nice for the player base, for God's sake, bro. You've made billions off them. Just throw them a freaking bone, man.
And, you know, maybe have to spare to spend or something like this. But the other thing is that you're actually capped. It says remaining sanctifying elixir to be produced 1, time remaining in the cycle 39 days and 13 hours.
What? Wait. Hold up. So how many you can get in that space? You can get 100. So what? You can only do that. Well, basically, you're talking like, well, not a few times a year. Oh my God, dude, that's insane.
Hours. So every 40 days, this gets reset. You only get 1. And as I said, whenever I actually fill out all of this stuff as well, you know, we put this in.
You get 1. What the? This is abuse at this point. This is straight up abuse.
It costs 2. So you're gonna have to wait over 80 days to actually get one of these pieces before you can even like think about getting it. You know, 80 whole days. That is so many updates.
So it is a scam. It was the carrot and stick. This was the carrot and stick. And then when you started to follow, they turned around and they beat the shit out of you with a stick and ate the carrot right in front of your face. What the hell?
It's in such a large amount of time that it's almost like not worth doing any of this. And I don't see why anyone would do this if they even wanted to.
You might as well just farm them anyway.
Because at that point, you might as well just go to the domain and just farm it, because it's just easier and you're probably more likely to get the piece that you want.
Yeah.
Rather than investing a ton of plus 20 artifacts into this and then pretty much getting nothing. I mean, you could get something, you could get a really good piece. And obviously, it does really give you a step up to getting better pieces and getting better substats on your artifacts. But as I said, whenever I started this video, if you look at some of the pieces I saved...
So I'll take back everything I said then in terms of playing devil's advocate. They're like, oh, hey, you've probably got a lot of stuff anyway, so you can do this. Even if you have got a lot of stuff, they're just like, well, we're not going to let you do it, though. You know? We know you've probably got a lot of stuff. That's why we're not letting you do it, okay? Now, jog on.
In fact, the crit damage, crit rate one here, I could have selected both of these substats and still gotten defense and elemental mastery, which wouldn't have really helped me at all, especially if I was adding this onto a character that doesn't really take those. So again, there is still this massive chance of both of the other substats not even rolling your way, which again just sucks. And as I said, you can actually only do 2 minor affixes, all for that heavy investment and all for that waiting. So again, this is definitely an update that Genshin Impact really need to fix here, because it's terrible. Obviously,
that is, like, I don't understand the thinking behind it. I'm, like, struggling. Obviously, when I put this video up, there's a lot of people who are like gacha people, Genshin people who are like, well, actually, this is the reason why you just don't get it because you're a fucking Kuro shill or whatever. Explain to me how this is a good thing. Explain to me the thought process that went behind this and how this benefits anybody in any way. Like, can you buy those elixirs straight up? Is that what it's about? Can you just buy them straight up? Like, and they're like, well, that's how you benefit you. Like, well, it benefits us.
They've done it a lot better in Honkai Star. You definitely get a lot more like self-modeling resin more often. They release it in events and stuff. Now, obviously, a lot of people were arguing in the comments, especially in Ryuku's video, of like, oh, you could get it in the battle pass, or you could get it in events or in the Spiral Abyss or something like that. That still doesn't take away from the fact that, you know, this was supposed to be an easy thing to, you know, exchange your artifacts to get better artifacts whenever you can. And some people in the
That's why they're so stringent with it then, aren't they? Because they're this is why Genshin makes so much money. And this is why I feel bad a little bit sometimes for the people who are like hardcore Genshin players, because you'd hope that, and this is why they've been catered to like enjoy the abuse, because games like Wuthering Waves come out, and okay, you might not be a fan of it, but you want the game to do well. Of course you want the game to do well, and you want it to do the things that it's doing, because then you hope that then Genshin is going to be like, okay, we need to start doing these things now before these players decide to go over there. But Genshin just say, nah, we're going to let you get some of this, but the only way you're getting some of this is you're just going to have to pay, bro. And then, like, the defenders come out basically just glazing the company, which, don't get me wrong, I understand that these companies have to make money, and they don't really want majority of people to be free to play, but that sort of stuff really should be free to play friendly. It should. That stuff should. The game makes a crap ton of money anyway. It wasn't like they needed to nickel and dime one other thing in the game. Add a new mechanic that's more pushed towards opening your wallet. I'm baffled. I'm baffled. I didn't think it was this bad. I'd heard some people talking about it was a scam with the artifacts and that, but I just hadn't looked into it because I was waiting to play the game, and I thought I don't want to give myself some sort of like twisted bias before I get back into the game. But this is shit.
The game are so free to play that they don't even buy the battle pass. So again, there's no point in saying that, oh, you can actually get it on the battle pass, because you still have to pay for it. Like, who wants to pay for such a terrible system that, again, probably won't even work in the first place, that again will have a high chance of failing, and overall,
exactly, yeah,
this is a
that's the
terrible
thing
system.
as well.
Now, obviously,
that's why the system should be free to play friendly, because of the percentage and the high chance of failing anyway, which I get it. That's gacha. It's gambling. But this is like an extra step that's just not needed. It's just not needed.
Disagree with me in the comments saying that, oh, this is very balanced. But again, I think 80 days is way too long to be waiting for an artifact, especially if it's not even going to roll into the right thing. Obviously, I've been saying this again and again, saying that, you know, it's not going to roll into the right thing, because again, I have very terrible luck on this game. I do not have faith at all that it's going to roll into a good substat.
Bro, I feel you there with substats, man. I'm right there with you.
Especially level up into a good substat in the first place. We're in a state in Genshin Impact at the moment where the game's been out for ages, and that everyone's gotten tons of artifacts, to the point where it doesn't really matter that you're giving out good pieces. Like, it doesn't matter at all. Like, I don't really get why Hoyoverse is actually holding back on this at all.
See, these are the weird updates at Genshin that I don't get. Like, it's like we've, like, you know, the traversal, talking about the traversal, which I suppose they've tried to get, I guess them trying to monetize that in a way. But, like, for me, those systems could have been changed a long time ago, and it wouldn't have affected profits in any way. But it feels like, I don't know if now, because the game's just getting a little bit long in the tooth, Hoyo understand that, you know, Genshin's time on the top spot, I guess, is limited to a degree, because Hoyo are going to have new games coming out themselves. The space is adapting. It's only going to be able to stay there for so long, and it's stayed there for a really long time anyway. So I think they understand that they've made a lot of money off this game. So now I think it's just, they're at that point where they're trying to get as much as possible out of the remaining players and squeeze them as hard as possible, because that's the way it works in these sort of businesses. That's the way it works in business in general. You try and grow your company, try and expand, and then when you get in a reduction in your consumer base, you squeeze what's left as much as possible. You know, you milk the cow as hard as possible for as long as you can until there's nothing left to get, and then you move on to the new thing. You know what I mean?
Because
it seems like that's kind of where we're here.
Multiplayer game where it gives players like way more of an advantage over another. If they can upgrade their substats so much easier, it just allows people to have more fun with the game, and it seems like they're taking away a lot of this fun, but making you invest so heavily into this and making you wait so long for it. So again, it does feel like they've kind of scammed us here.
These are the sort of things that I hate in free-to-play games. Is like, I don't mind microtransactions in free-to-play games because I understand it's a business model, and if I really enjoy the game, I am totally fine with a myriad of transactions. I hate it when games take away something from the game to sell back to it, or they create a problem and sell you the solution. That's when it sucks. If you want to sell me a billion different skins and a billion different characters that might give me benefits, and especially if it's a solo game, I don't care. There's no real pay to win really, because who you winning against? Yourself. But yeah, these sort of systems are never really good, are they? It doesn't benefit the player at all. And I guess, like, you know, there's the argument, well, that's not what they're here to do, because I guess they're not. But there should be. You know, this is not like some small game that's really just trying to make as much money as possible right from the get-go. You know, they've been killing it for years. You know, it's like, you think, like I say, they'd throw some crumbs back to the community, but it just feels like they refuse to do so in Genshin. But then they do it in Star Rail. That's the mind-blowing thing. Like, it's like they almost operate as a separate entity altogether, which I know they are in development terms, but you know what I mean? Like, they're from two totally different companies altogether.
Because again, in the live stream and in a lot of the posts that they brought up, they made it out to be this like really, really great thing. You know, they're changing the game. Natlan's going to be a game changer for Genshin Impact, and the game's going to be so much different overall as to how it used to be. Because again, a lot of people have been critical about this game, but again, I don't think that this update is, you know, reflective of that. And if anything, it's reflective of how lazy Hoyoverse are and how, you know, unwilling they are to give out free stuff. Because this is another case of Hoyoverse not wanting to give out free stuff. Forget about Primo Gems, forget about Mora. Just in-game items, Hoyoverse are very reluctant to give it to you by making you wait possibly up to 80 days and maybe even more to actually get an artifact that could be semi-decent but might not even work in the first place. So again, this is absolutely insane. And there's also a lot of people online, now this may be a little bit over-dramatic from them, but saying that they're going to quit the game over this because, again, it's pretty ridiculous how they release these updates and saying it's going to be a big update for the players and that the players are really going to enjoy this. For them to give us this absolute garbage, it's kind of insane to see. So yeah, another mess up from the Hoyoverse team over there. I really hope that they do fix it because I have been enjoying the Natlan update. And hopefully, you know, if they just like reduce the cycle and maybe reduce the overall cost of making these, I definitely think that would be so much better, and maybe incorporate getting them into more events and stuff. Maybe they're already planning on doing that in the future, but again, this will definitely hurt the reputation of Genshin Impact, especially with the Natlan update. Obviously, because some people are coming back very critical of the game already, and if they see something like this, well, you know, it might be the straw that breaks the camel's back. But let me know down in the comments what you guys.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, man. Just looking at the system itself makes me annoyed to want to go back to the game. I do want to go back to the game, but this isn't a good system at all. This is like, it's insulting almost a little bit, in my opinion.
Do you think that this is a good update, or do you think this is a bad one? I'm talking about the artifact system in particular, not the overall Natlan update, but the artifact system. Do you think it's bad? Do you think it's good? Because online I've seen a lot of varying kind of opinions on this, and yeah, I'm just really interested in what you guys think. But yeah, if you enjoyed this video, then don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. And as I said, go to my anime.
But there's people who genuinely think it's a good thing. I guess some people are arguing the fact that you can choose a stat and a substat's a good thing. That's like how, like in Wuthering Waves, and you know, new system in Echo system coming out of like you can choose a main stat and a substat now, and then you've got to use the merger in the data bank, and you've got to use 4 of your maxed out echoes, which you've had to put all your mats in and all your tuners in. And then you get to do that, what, twice? What was it? How many times can you do that? And then you've got to wait 80 days, or you can do that once. So to do it twice, you've got to wait 80. That would just be like, that'd be pointless. Be absolutely pointless.
My channel, we've got a ton of new stuff coming out on there. And yeah, I will see you.
See, that was a good video, that was, man. Shout out to Kazahana. I'm glad I watched that. I'm glad I watched that because I'd heard people talking about it and moaning about the system, but I really didn't know it was that bad. That's kind of wild, that is. Shame as well, because from what I've heard, people are quite liking Natlan itself and the update itself. Well, from the people I've heard from anyway. Again, I haven't gone back to the game. I do want to go back to it. That definitely leaves a salty taste in the mouth, that does. It's a shame as well, because it really does feel like Hoyo treat Genshin, or the Genshin community, as like side chicks. Well, not like side chicks, actually. Like Hoyo, Star Rail's a side chick. Genshin's the wife. She's got a little bit overweight, you know? All she does is nag at ya, you know? The kids are pissing you off all the time. So you're out whining and dining. the side chick, and she's getting all the nice stuff. You're buying her a car, she's getting new dresses, you're taking her to hotels, you're buying her jewelry, and then you come back to your wife who's just like, oh, do you think we could go out for the weekend with the kids? And you're like, no. I'll take you to McDonald's tonight if you want. And actually, you can pay. Like, bro, man, it's a bit mean. But yeah, Genshin Impact's new update is terrible. Not great. It's not great. A great video. Damn. Yeah, I didn't know about that. I didn't know about that, chat. Interesting. Again, I haven't played the game for a while, so like I'm kind of out the loop of all that sort of stuff, but that's, yeah, man, it's not cool. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's basically applying that you'd have to max all of those echoes out, and then you'd only be able to do it so many times, and you'd have to wait 40 days to do the next one if you wanted to choose a stat and a substat. It'd just be like, you'd be like, well, I might as well just farm them and just hope that I get lucky. You know, because you could still brick the freaking echo anyway, because the following substats are just trash. Oh, well, I guess it is what it is. It is what it is. Let's see what you guys are saying. Benefits to play for one patch. What's going on, Mooming, as well? What's going on, Zara? Welcome to the stream, Zara, sorry. Shout out to everybody in the chat, guys. Shout out to Cybergamer as well. Shout out to Gremlin. I quit about a week in. I think it's just a side thing and a replacement for grinding artifacts. Yeah, like I say, you can still go and grind artifacts, but that's why I say, what's the point? You know? Like, what's the point, really? I totally get what you're saying, and I agree with that. Like, it's definitely not a replacement, and they're not going to want to replace it anyway, because it's a core component of the game, isn't it, really? So you don't want to replace it. But I think having a limit to it, definitely. Making it cost something, definitely. But I think making it be all like stacked out artifacts and then the cap's so harsh, it just, you know, a few tweaks here and there make it a lot more generous in regards to how often you can do it, and maybe make it less investment heavy. The investment side of things I don't think is a major problem, because most people who are going to be doing it now are going to be like, going to have a lot of mats to use with it, aren't they, really? So it's like, you know, it's not really a problem in that regard. They're going to have a bag full. But it's the time gate, I think, that's a major problem, isn't it? Well, that for me anyway just sucks, because it's like, why do I want to do that then? That's kind of pointless. I was playing for 4 years before quitting. Main point for me was it was infinite text, and I have no time to read. Another thing is, yeah, the skip button's a big thing for a lot of people, actually. Yeah, a farm instead of using transmuter.
I'm on a roll, ready for any mission.
Why make you hit me? Why you make me hit you, Lurleen? Super patch if you have the battle pass. Yeah, it's like, it's at that point. It's like, again, like I say, why? Why even put it in the game? Kind of crazy. Kind of crazy. Oh yeah, dude, it's always the way, man. You get like a Havoc freaking Echo, and then it's like Glacio bonus or whatever. It's like, okay, cheers, man. Appreciate that. That's just what I wanted for Christmas. You know? But the trials and tribulation of being a gacha gamer, right? It's what we came for. You know? It's what we signed up for. I just think after all this time, you just think there'd be some sort of celebration of the community from Genshin, wouldn't you? To be like, you know what? This update is going to be insane. We're giving you so much just as a way to say thank you. Thank you for all of the monies. But hey, I guess you don't get rich by giving stuff away at the end of the day. That's why rich people are usually tight, aren't they? Because you don't stay rich. You don't get rich by giving it away, and you don't stay rich by giving it away, do you really, either? So I guess at the end of the day, they're laughing all the way to the bank, aren't they? Yeah, when you was talking about the Lunite thing, and you were saying it's a temple, it works out to like almost 20 pulls, almost. What I think it works out to about 2,700, then plus your 300, so you're talking like what 1600's giving you 10s in it, so you know, roundabout, like when you're doing your other stuff as well, you'll get 20 kills out of it easy. It's the best deal. Like, the little passes in majority of these games really are the best deal, aren't they? You know, your little monthly £5 thing. It's like, it typically does work out as being the best for you. So you get 90 per day. You get. So when you first buy it, you get 300 Lunite, which obviously you can transfer into asteroids straight away, 1 for 1, so it's 300 asteroids, and then you get 90 asteroids per day for 30 days. Pardon me. What's the
This
difference?
place looks different.
Red nucleus, mirror shadow. So are they specifically for this banner then? Oh, okay. I was wanting to pull on Nola though, wasn't I? I do really like that Lin though. Okay. Alright, let's pull on Nola though. Alright, Temple Baby Gamba! Yeah, pretty much Neil, roundabout. A little bit less Sambo. When you're doing your daily stuff, like, it'll add up to it anyway. Yep. That's why, like, for me, I think the best deal to go is you get that and then you get the battle pass. You're talking 15 quid a month, but you're getting like some pulls in that as well. Plus you get your solvents as well, and you get a bunch of mats. Like, you know, that's what I'll do every month. I just spend 15 quid a month on the game I do, and then obviously I've pulled here and there, but that's I ain't open wallet on Wuthering Waves for a while actually, but I'll just put the Lunite pass and I get the podcast as well. I just get the base level though, so I pay the £10. You can pay the extra tenner to get an extra 10 levels, I think it is.
Well, today's pretty peaceful, right?
Obviously, you get the weapons out of the podcast, but they're pretty lame, if I'm honest, really. The weapons are kind of like, you know? Wait, hey. I'm confused. Oh, no, yeah.
Well,
Sorry. I didn't read it. I didn't bother reading it. I just thought it was asking me to spend them crystals. That's what I do in video games. Stuff will come up on the screen and I'll literally just not read it. I'll go on autopilot. I thought it was asking me to transfer those, you know, those black crystal things. That's a wife for $15 a month for work. Should slap the taste out of me and make me sleep in the shed. I've got one left, yeah. Alright, just get out. Just get out. Purple me. Come on, purple me. No? Okay. I didn't want one anyway. I think sometimes I do that in my head. You know, do you remember like when you was a kid? Probably not for the younger viewers because you didn't get that. But I remember the days of like playing on PlayStation 1, right? And a game would take ages to load and you'd like pretend you didn't care. Like, I don't want it to load anyway. I'm just going to look over here. Is it loaded? Fuck. I'd do that as well. Be back in the day. Because I had to chip PlayStation 1 so I could get chip games, basically. So like you could get like 3 games for like 10 quid. But like some of the stuff that people did as well was like disc swapping. Like you'd boot a game up and you'd open the PlayStation quickly and you'd swap the disc, and like doing that and trying to wait for it to load. You'd be like, I don't care. I don't want it to load. Because in your head was like, well, that's gonna make it load,
well,
right?
Today's pretty peaceful, right?
Should we do some on this as well then, I guess? Oh, they're there. No, I'm better doing it on Nola, yeah. Spend them on Nola. Is that for the motorbike? Because you can beat, or is it for the... No. Oh, no. That's for the weapon. Okay, this is for the matrices. Yeah, I get it. Well, if we're pulling for Nola, we might as well pull for the matrices for her then, yeah. All right, let's go. I'm making things far too complicated. Just ignore me. I'm speaking out loud. My brain's, you know, doesn't work that well. Okay. 2 purples. I've got 2 purples. I'm going to bring it into existence. 2 purples. We've got there. Apophis Confrontation. It's a purple. It's a purple. What did I tell ya? Frostbot Ruthless. Oh my god, we got 3. Let's go. Soulbet Confusion. I was going to say that then, but I thought, nah, I ain't getting 3. We got 3 up. Let's go.
This place looks different.
I can buy a copy, can't I? Or something at home, but I don't know whether to wait until I get, like, more, like, skins before I do that, like, you know? What do you reckon, chat? What do you reckon? My Tower of Fantasy connoisseurs. What do you reckon? Wait. I do like Claudia. We're gambling today, boys and girls. We're gambling today. Gambling in WuWa has become a real source of depression. Winning feels like winning. Losing feels like a salty cock in your mouth.
Mia is currently executing food preparation sequence.
A2 to A3 Fenrir. Which one's Fenrir now? I got Gleipnir. I got a couple of that, you know. That's the
executing food preparation sequence.
Well, I'll have to have a think about him. He'll be pulling for Gian and get fucking Verena instead. Hey, as 50-50s go to lose, though, that's a good one to lose, man. You know? Definitely a good one to lose. Which is the thing for your dailies? Is it the ruin? No, it's not the ruins. No, it's not that either. It's this one, isn't it? Which is the one that I can do auto? Is it this one that I can do auto? Gold drill, matrix drill. Quick battle. His instance difficulty is very low. Use a quick battle to get the reward immediately. Come on. 12 times operation success.
Well, today's pretty peaceful,
Sweet.
right?
Sweet. We'll do the joint operations next time. We did that solo last time, yeah, and it took fucking ages. Fenrir is Gleipnir. Oh, okay. Alright, my bad. Okay. Yeah, actually, yeah, we could do that, because I really like that. That's nice, though, where you can just spam that out if you want to, just to get through it kind of thing. I like that. I appreciate that. I really appreciate that.
Ready for any mission.
See, like, I do definitely think Tower of Fantasy has added a lot of quality of life things to the game that I appreciate a lot, actually. That I really appreciate. What am I missing here? Oh, yeah. You know, the W's. Big W's. I think other games in the space can definitely take from some of the stuff. Kuro. Especially when it comes to some of the matchmaking and dungeon-esque type content.
This place looks different.
I'm here for it. This place looks different. Oh, FYI guys, just to let you know, I did upload a video today on the YouTube channel. Go check it out if you want to, whenever you want to. Got a plug, got a plug.
Fiona and her team are closely monitoring the Abyss current, and everything is still under control. How's Ruby doing?
Oh yeah, we had that big underwater battle last time, didn't we? At Avengers moment.
Dr.
You had that on your left kind of cutscene.
You two must have a lot to catch up on.
Rubilia. She's also here?
Yes, the doctor is currently free to carry out activities within a small area. This trip of hers is laid to my charge.
Can the doctor move about freely?
Yes, we've developed a jammer to help conceal the doctor's biosignal and cut off the hive consciousness she shares with gray space entities. However, we still need to observe whether the doctor, with the device on, can be affected by Ruby, who has the special features of gray space entities. In short, it has achieved the expected purpose. It interferes with the Hive Mother's ability to sense the doctor's presence or read her mind. The current situation is relatively stable, but we need to follow its development closely.
That's great.
Come on, let's go see Ruby. She didn't say anything, but we all know how much she misses you.
Somebody said that she voice acted in Mass Effect. Yeah, was she the Quarian or the oh, what was the other one's name? Is it? I forgot the names. The purple chicks, the Asari was he? The voice was sound familiar.
Rubilia.
I know, right? Yeah, I feel ya.
Excuse me. I need a word with Rubilia.
Dude, Rubilia looks so
Go
cool.
see Ruby. I'll be right with you.
She's a really dope looking character.
Ruby seems to be very fond of that doll.
After all,
Which one?
it
The
was a
giant
gift
one?
from you.
Oh, the little one.
It's Ruby's best friend, and she calls it Dolly. This is probably Ruby's only memory of the past.
Is that so? I wish she could forget everything that has happened and grow up like other kids, happy and safe.
What's
Not
like
just Ruby. I hope
wings?
everyone could walk out of the dark shadow of gray space entities, and all tragedies would end here. I look forward to a bright future. In this regard, I haven't wavered or changed. No.
Well, I guess
Not
so,
only
yeah,
that,
because she like
my attitude, my pursuit,
separated
and the
from her
answer
in,
I'm dying
in
to
essence, isn't
verify.
she?
None of these have changed.
She looks
I
dope though.
just can't imagine how you have been all these years. Do you sometimes regret such a choice?
We often regret the decisions we have made, when there could have been changes. We feel disappointed and helpless with the results. So we dream about another possibility.
Big booba.
But burying your head in the sand doesn't help the situation. Having the Crystamax implanted and traveling to the confounding abyss are steps I must take. There is no other choice for me. Even if the hope is slim, this I must do. It's the only way. What would you do if you were me?
She's tall as well. And she's flying glide. Oh, that's cool. That's a big ass teddy.
Wow, you were in Inners! That's amazing! Are there many houses made of shells under the sea? I'd love to live there with Lynn. Once certain things over there are resolved, we will have opportunities to go together. Deal.
It is was cool though. The whole sea thing, the first time I went into the sea, I was like, dude, this is sweet, this
I've
is.
been very good recently. Lynn,
Cool biome.
I promised you that I would take medicine, get checkups, go to bed on time, and eat less candy. And I have kept my word. Ah, Is Lynn busy?
I'm back, Ruby.
Lynn!
How have you been? Any more nightmares?
That's the
Not
OG
at all.
companion you said to me.
I
What's
haven't
that?
had
Sorry.
any
What's
dreams
the OG?
recently.
Oh, that
Actually,
big
I
teddy.
slept through every night.
That's good. Have you grown taller?
Really? You think so? Very soon, I'll be as tall as Lynn, and I can go on operations with you.
You will make a great comrade, Ruby. I look forward to that day. Ruby, just a moment.
Sorry to interrupt your break, Lynn. We just received a message. The Abyss current has become even less stable. We need to figure out a plan as soon as possible.
Very likely, no, dude.
We're on our way.
I love a design.
Lynn, when this is all over, let's visit Inners and stay in a shell house together.
I'm not gonna
Sounds
lie,
like a
I kind
plan.
of wish he was my
And we will stay
companion.
as
He looks kind
long
of
as you
cool.
like.
Yeah, I will be a good girl. Lynn, come back soon to get me.
I will. We have a deal. Executor, Shirley.
I'm going out to get milk
time to
now.
go.
Be back soon. Space Tech Corporation. What's class? There's a lot of chappies about, isn't there? I'm just having a little look around. Right, let's go where we need to go. We're going back to the entrance, yeah? Right, let's do it. Yeah, I kind of like the look of that companion. I'm here for that. Hey, yo, guys, as well, if you are watching on YouTube, very much appreciated. Drop a like on the stream or a dislike, whichever you please. Again, quick plug, I did upload a video today on the second channel as well, if you want to check them out. One was talking about the leaked sales for Concord on PS5, and it's not looking good. And the other one was talking about some leaks, upcoming leaks for Wuthering Waves. Oh, really? So that's not just me that does that then? Okay, I'm glad about that then, yeah. Okay, it's made me feel a bit better about myself. I need to explore this area more. I've got the hiccups. Where am I going? Oh, I need to return to Inners. Oh, shoot. Can I just... There we go. Keep forgetting about that. So yeah, I am going to double dip again later, chat. I'm going to stream again. And we'll be streaming some Deadlock. I'll be doing it on Twitch and on the second YouTube channel. Keep it separate, like. Keep it secret, keep it safe, you know. I was going to do some stuff on the drive, because I need to get the drive sorted for when we get the drive done. But we've got some dudes in today. Putting a new fence panel. Well, new fence panels, should I say. Between mine and my neighbour's garden. And it rained really bad today as well. So it's just like, yeah, I'll do it another day. Teddy's not his official mascot for the game studios, reincarnated in NT. Oh, really? Oh, that's cool then. That's a little cool homage, I guess. I didn't know that. Is that the, like, television head thing? You actually see in the,
According to Mook's
first gameplay we
report,
saw.
Gray space entities have become active again recently, causing the area around the Abyss current to lose stability quickly. We haven't confirmed the causes of these changes, but this is definitely of great urgency.
With all due respect, Conroe and I are very concerned about the changes in the Abyss current. We also tried to help improve dimensional stability of the surrounding areas through a timestamp. However, it came to our attention that the space-time fluctuation there was aligned with the Abyss current. To put it another way, those areas may become Abyss currents at any time, and this expansion will continue. If the Abyss current can't be pacified
Her
completely,
introduction was badass, oh
the
Lance.
entire underwater world would become part of a massive Abyss current one day in the worst scenario.
Before the situation gets worse, we must
Oh,
find
did
a
he?
way
What
to
was his
control
revenue
the
this
abyss
month?
current once and for all. However,
Leave the job of stabilizing the space-time around the abyss current to us, Fiona. We have developed a device capable of stabilizing space-time using the technology provided by District 9. We hope this can hinder the abyss current's expansion for some time. Dr. Rubilia has some unique opinions on how to close the abyss current. Miss Lon, it's a pleasure to meet you. I'm Lyra, the Special Counsel of District 7. I'm here to assist with the underwater abyss current.
The pleasure is mine, Miss Lyra. And this is?
My name is Rubilia. Pleased to meet you, Miss Lan.
Dr. Rubilia is an expert in gray-space
And Lyra
entities
could sit
and has
and
made
read your
great
bedtime
achievements in many
stories.
fields.
It seems the doctor has
No,
had
okay,
some
that's not too
unusual
bad, actually.
experiences in the past.
Indeed, I had some very unusual experiences in the past, which have given me a better understanding of gray space entities.
So I mean, like the numbers for Wuthering
intelligence I've
Waves, and you see
acquired
13 million.
is of such great importance
Yeah, I think there
that
is a
how
little
I
bit of doom
exist
calling, really, because it's still
matters
insane.
little.
I can't deny that, but the doctor's words are trustworthy. And I believe the following information provided by the doctor can testify to her position. We have developed some protective gear to
It really
conceal
is
the
soothing.
doctor's breath.
Hey, what's going on, Lily?
This allows her to
Boobilia.
move freely within a certain range without being detected by gray space entities. You have
She is
nothing to
stacked.
worry about.
Okay, let's hear what the doctor has to say.
I was told that Miss Lan and your party broke through the barrier into Vera through a device called the timestamp.
Yes. A timestamp can adjust space-time fluctuations, either distorting it further or restoring its original form. We closed the abyss current at Somerset Isle by correcting the order of the space-time using a timestamp.
Okay,
I see.
that looks cool.
Is the timestamp probably related to the Black Stone in any way? Their materials seem very similar.
The doctor is referring to the black stones widely distributed in the confounding abyss, which is an expansive underground space where the law of materials is way beyond our knowledge. Evidence suggests that it was the ruins of some alien civilization. Unfortunately, we don't know much about the ruins or the black stones. The timestamp sounds very similar to these black stones. It's safe to presume that Domain 9 also has access to black stones, and perhaps a better understanding of this material.
At
Black
1.4 mil then.
stones. Let me think. The doctor must be talking about the Black Jade, which can affect the stability of space-time. We made the timestamp out of it to make better use of it. The Black Jade is indeed a product of another civilization. During our confrontation with gray space entities, we
Whenever I
gradually
think of
gained a
Black
better
Stones, then all I
understanding
think of
the
is the Song of Ice and
civilization, but
Fire.
our knowledge is still limited. If more information could be obtained on that intelligent civilization, we would definitely have a better chance against gray space entities. And vice versa. It was exactly why we ventured out into the outside world this time. Space-time was disturbed by this abyss current, which presented us with an opportunity. So we opened a path with a timestamp and followed those gray space entities into Vera.
Okay.
What Miss Lan just said seems relevant to some of the shattered leads in my head. I'm comfortable making some guesses. The Abyssant can exert influence on the space-time barrier of Domain 9 through its field ability. It can call more gray space entities via the Abyss current. This is consistent with the information I've acquired from the Hive consciousness, which gives me reason to believe that it is responsible for the Abyss current. Black stones have a similar effect. That's why the Abyss current at Somerset Isle could be closed with a timestamp. But the situation underwater is quite different. I'm afraid the Abyss current is not the only thing that interferes with that sector. I suspect that the space-time there may have always been unstable, and gray space entities are using this to their advantage. The timestamp alone can't change the space-time shaped by these two forces.
Why has it always been unstable,
So another
though?
cause of this space-time's instability becomes a key breakthrough point for us.
There's another force that is affecting space-time? What
I'm not
could
sure
it
to
be?
watch on Twitch at YT. Hey,
I'm
let's
not
go.
sure. It could be a
Whenever
hidden
you want it.
abyssant, undiscovered black stone ruins, or something completely beyond our knowledge. Obviously, The potential risk is unpredictable, but we don't have a safer choice here.
How exactly does the doctor plan to identify
She's so
this
tall.
cause?
I will try to make an impact on the entire area by leading the energy inside the Abyss Current with the abilities of gray space entities. If my conjecture is correct, this cause, affected by the flow of energy, would produce
It's kind of cool,
an
Tosis.
abnormal space-time
I'm new to the
fluctuation.
game. I've been having a blast with it. I
Miss
have.
Lyra will have gears set up to detect its location.
Okay, prepare for departure.
I'm still a noob, like, but I've really been enjoying it. I think the game gets way more hate than it deserves, if I'm honest. Like, don't get me wrong, it's not perfect, but I've been having fun since starting. Head for the Abyss Current. I ain't got any I'm gonna have to go swimming, yeah. Go swimming. Remember, she's half monster, so tall. Yeah, she's freaking lanky. Why not got a fast travel? Just all down there. That's enough. Oh yeah, we got a. Isaac Claire, Isaac Shiro, Isaac Skull, Code, Jusealing, gave DPS until they couldn't clear monthly things. Had to quit there. Got any buttons to get me there quicker? I must admit though, the underwater areas they do look gorgeous, especially with the ray tracing on. Like the ray tracing in this game is pretty decent. Yeah, I've ate my stamina mushroom by the 2 I had anyway. I don't think I've got any more. I love the variety of the creatures as well. That's one thing I was really impressed by when we came into like the underwater section initially. Like there's so many different fish and creatures. Oh, do bubbles give you a speed boost? Oh, didn't know that. Didn't know that. Clutch. Missed it. I think you a right speed boost. I must admit though, combat is not bad underwater, but not the biggest fan. Feels a little bit clunky sometimes. Just a little bit. I'll say one thing about this game as well, man. It's got really vast areas, like, you know what I mean? Like, these areas are huge, bro. Was there a teleport portal in the... Are they bringing up the world boss? Whereabouts? Oh, look. Down below. Not... Oh shit.
I can feel a surge of energy inside the Abyss Current, and the Hive Mother has grown more frantic, running out of patience with the current situation. It's anxiously waiting for the offspring to come to its rescue via the Abyss Current. We don't have much time. Are you ready? Once the jammer is removed, those gray space entities will be aware of my presence immediately. We will keep you safe. We don't have much time. Are you ready?
Dude, it'd be so messed up if you came here and you couldn't swim.
Gray space entities
you know?
will be aware of my presence immediately. We will keep you safe.
Right.
Okay, let's begin.
That was weird. And a fight, is it? Where's this, what's it before we go? We set up a left, yeah. Is it down actually by the volcano, rim, yeah? Or are we talking like on the ceiling or something? I forgot they're like, what are they now? They're like little octopus type things, yeah? If that's what you describe them as. Look at all these different fish, man. Sorry, fish. Don't want to make you angry. I don't want to get that dude to spawn because he messed me up last time. Alright, it's all over there. Ah, let's go to it though. Let's do it. Might as well, hadn't we? Might as well while we're down here. Is this thing here? Oh, I got a story here. Was it? Actually, I don't think I have yet. I think I'm just going to initiate that again, yeah? Okay, cool. Right, let's go. A bit of novelty, but if you get Rebellia Red Dodge, you'll have a chance to control a world grace-based monster. Oh, really? Bit of mind control on the go, yeah? Might as well get it while we're here. Make life easier for us in the future, yeah? Oh, shit, what? Can we even go down here? Some protective gear will be helpful. Okay, alright, let's get the fuck out of here. Oh, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die.
That looks bad.
I didn't get time to eat. I was trying to eat. Alright, let's not go down there then. Let's not go down there. Should I? What can I go down there after I've done this mission? Will I seal the volcano? Got a little bit spicy, that did. Yeah, we'll stay away from there for now then. Might not be easier to might not be easier to do that then. Alright, let's go back and do this then. Maybe what sort of protective gear can I get for that then? I'm still actually quite surprised by how large this cavern is. It's kind of insane. Oh, mate. Pretend that didn't happen, chat, right? Pretend that didn't happen. It's still good. Right, let's go. I've got to go for that. What do you do now? Set Rebellia. Okay. I've seen that thing again, man, when it's like... doesn't want to attack the enemy right in front of me. What is he doing? Okay. Let's try and attack him instead then. I can't attack anybody at the minute.
Stand down.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the combat underwater, I'm not gonna lie. It feels quite jank. like I'll be right next to an enemy trying to hit it, and I'll start doing this little side-to-side dash that I'm doing. Yeah, I really like the combat in this game, but sometimes, not all the time, sometimes on the wall, just a little bit, you know? Like, I'm next to an enemy, and I'm hitting the mouse button, and I'll just start doing this. I'll let it slide, though. I'll let it slide. Reap that again.
Rebellia!
Yeah, it feels like if you just off like underneath or above, it's just
feel now?
It doesn't seem to recognize an enemy near you, does it?
Don't worry. It worked. Next we wait to hear from Miss Lyra.
I'm going now. Go to Breezy Isle. I can't remember if I've got to watch it there. Got the hiccups. Got the hiccups, chat. Guess we need to go up here then, yeah. Let's go. Let's go. Yeah, yeah. So I was saying I thought it was last time. But that verticality kind of like catches the game out, like. Yeah, some people are saying that like certain range weapons are probably the way to go underwater. So look at this, man. This is gorgeous, this is. You know? Big fan of the art direction in the game. Well, long way to go. Can I get up through there? No, well, I can get that one. Give me that, please.
Let's find the next one.
Let's get this map thing over here as well, actually. Might as well while we're here. It's over here, wasn't it? Yeah, we're heading towards it. Let's go get it. I think I'm in the wrong island. Oh, am I? Close to going to the next planet. Oh, am I? Let's go. Wait, is this above me or something? I think it might be above me, yeah. Oh, it's not rainbow. Oh, damn. I thought we was going to be able to open the map up here. Yeah, I'm tripping, yeah. Yeah, I'm tripping. Visually, it looks great. It looks great. Like the lighting effects on the water, everything look good. Do I need to get out of here then? Have I got to... Because I need to get over here, yeah. Can I exit this to get to like the larger body of water? I'm on the right level, aren't I? I play low graphics, so I can't enjoy the environment. Yeah, I must admit, like, on max settings, it does look nice. Yeah, I think I've, if I remember right, didn't we, like, swim into this area? I can't remember. We did, didn't we? See, have we got to exit through the water? We have, yeah. It's not round here, is it? It's over there, I think, yeah. I think I'm in the right spot, am I? No, I'm not. Yeah, no, wrong spot. I didn't want to swim out, but which is the way to swim out? Not right here. I think you can try typing inners and going from there to the marker. Would that be the best place to go from, yeah? Probably would, wouldn't you? Let's do that then, actually. Let's just go inners. Go on, just swim straight up like. Yeah, because I remember us coming in there, like we went under and up and out, if I remember right. Can't remember exactly where it was though. You can like hop on this and hop off, yeah. Take me! Take me! So do the bubbles only exist in like the subterranean parts of the water, or can Dude, I can't help myself but just admire the environment. Like, it looks gorgeous, it really does. Like, the lighting as well, it's just beautiful. Big fan, big fan. Where's that one going to? Yeah, I know, yeah, I know. Hey, what's going on, Cheese? How you doing, buddy? That took me ages when I was first trying to get into them. I was like, dude, why are these not? I thought they were supposed to make me go quicker. And then by accident, I just stopped and I was like, oh, I'm supposed to sit still. Okay. Doing all right? Good, 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 good. Yeah, I'm not too bad, dude. I'm not too bad. Go up then surfboard. Or can you surf? Oh, no. I was thinking you could surfboard underwater then. You played any more, Deadlock, bro? Look at the different types of fish. There seems to be like, every time I come into these areas, I'm like, there's a different fish about. A jellyfish over there. It's Mia. Might as well grab that. A cheesy burrito. Yeah, I'm glad the underwater area is all like bright and lit up as well. So I think I've got thalassophobia, I have. You know? So I'm glad it's not like super dark and creepy. So that'd be a problem. Oh, this looks cool. Look at this. Oh, wow. got a space rift anywhere near here? Yeah, there's one right there, yeah. What the hell? What was that? That reminds me of the, oh, what was the game called in Final Fantasy X now? You know, when you play the ball game, and it was in, like, spheres of water, weren't it? Oh, what was that called now? Blitzball, that's it. Reminds me of the Blitzball arenas. What's this? Right, where are we going to? It's a little bit over here. Have we got a map thing as well here? We have, yeah. Where is it? It's nearby, isn't it? Right over here.
Yeah.
And you can do it. You can do it. Oh, let's go. Let's go. Wait a minute. Could I have a TP right over there? For real? I need to start opening the maps up, man. Make life a lot easier, that's for sure. There's a boss fight in the bubble, is that? It feels low on my Ooh, look at this. Was it I'm guessing it's an underwater boss fight then, yeah?
Lyra, we've arrived at the entrance to the target location. It appears to be an abnormal space that reminds me of the confounding abyss.
Roger that. Go ahead and explore the surrounding area. The tech department
Thalassophobia is when you're afraid to poop in a kid's wading pool.
Is it really the Blackstone ruins?
I didn't receive any relevant reports. This is indeed a result of that space-time fluctuation. If these ruins are similar in nature to the confounding abyss, we must be extra careful. A small mistake could lead to a replay of the tragic past. Moreover, the extent of the space-time fluctuation's impact on the Grand Sea is not yet clear.
I wasn't paying attention.
Inspections and evaluations must be carried out immediately to reveal and eliminate hidden dangers.
Understood. We got this.
I believe our timestamp could help with the Blackstone ruins. Let me give it a try.
Hello?
Why not?
Can you hear me? The communication signal was compromised for unknown reasons just now. You were on and off. How is everything?
Ms. Lan has unlocked the Blackstone ruins using a timestamp. We are going to investigate.
The signal fluctuation might be a result of its interference, which means you've successfully activated the entrance to the ruins. Once inside the ruins, you might lose contact with us. Be very careful.
Okay, we'll bear that in mind.
Blackstone ruins. Another force that affects space-time stability. Let's uncover the mystery.
Right, 2 seconds, chat. Let me get a drink.
I'm on a roll, ready for any mission. Well, today's pretty peaceful, right? I'm on a roll, ready for any mission. Well, today's pretty peaceful, right? I'm on a roll, ready for any mission. This place looks different.
Yeah, this game has got a lot of content. It's got this,
for any mission.
the MMO elements there,
Lyra?
isn't it? Like, you know what I mean?
Lyra?
So I'd like to see some of that stuff coming to
Communication is cut off. The sensor devices we have brought here
I know a
seem
lot
to
of
be
people say, well, it's not an
malfunctioning.
MMO, but it's like, yeah, but it doesn't mean you can't
The
bring some
laws
of the
followed
positives.
here are far beyond our understanding. I kind of expected the instruments to malfunction.
I don't feel gray-space entities. We are safe here for now.
Let's stay close to
You mean
one
a little
another
pocket
and advance
universe or something?
carefully.
Okay. Yeah, I'll say as well, a lot of the environments are gorgeous. This is pretty.
What's this?
Some sort of control panel?
Something similar was also present in the Black Stone ruins of Domain 9. But we don't know much about it other than some preliminary speculations. Some ruins in Domain 9 have been damaged. The device might be malfunctioning as a result. The timestamp is resonating with this device? The Black Stone ruins in Vera and Domain 9. I knew it. We might be able
Was
to
it
make some further
Asperia in the
discoveries
first
about
place?
it
I need to
here.
go back there and do some stuff, don't I?
Look, the things up ahead. Are those images of us?
Move closer for a better look.
It looks like a mirror, but it doesn't reflect what we do. Shall we imitate their actions? Or should I say, ours?
Let's try it out.
There's like... Oh, go to... What, you want me to go in? Go through it?
Look, there are also similar images behind us.
This happened not too long ago.
It has kept a full record of our movements since we entered Blackstone Ruins, which might be a cue. The image in front of us echoes it from afar. This might be us in the future.
So the ones in front of us are from the future, while the ones behind us are from the past. And those in the middle are us at present?
If the present us imitates the actions of the future us, then the future in the mirror will become the future in reality. This seems to make sense, but I'm already lost.
Incredible. They may have invented some device to record our past, but how exactly would they show us our future? This might be
But you
the
ain't got to
result
worry
of
about ninja
space-time
loot and all that sort of
instability.
stuff, Neo. So, like,
The so-called past,
you know,
present,
you
and future are likely coexisting
running with
here.
people, really, it almost feels like
The
you're running with
answer whys
NPCs
and
sometimes in a
hows
lot of
might be
MMOs.
beyond our ability, but we can give it a try based on our conjectures.
We might be able to move forward by imitating the future us.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Can we look at what they're doing in there? It seems like everybody's standing by one, yeah. Oh.
Weak.
Pussy. Rinse and repeat, yeah? Oh wait, I need to do this in... I need to do this in some sort of order. Oh, that one's activated, yeah.
Is this a totem?
Yeah, I'm going to be playing Throne of Liberty when that comes out, if anybody is down to
I have
play.
seen similar totems in Domain 9. Similar, but different. They probably have different meanings in different Blackstone
I want to go on the
ruins.
flying whale.
Is it a planet? Or peaks and troughs? What are they trying to tell us?
Don't you find that eye symbol similar to the one in the confounding abyss?
It might be some kind of symbol of this alien civilization, declaring their territory. So far,
Throne
the
and Liberty.
civilization doesn't
It's the
seem
new
hostile
Amazon. Well,
toward us.
it's not Amazon, but they're publishing it
We
in
can
the
even
West.
use these unusual creations they've left
A lot of people have
behind.
got issues with it. I quite like
I'd
it.
love to know what alien civilization left these here.
But these black stones engraved with totems are left here. They ultimately still perished in the dust.
Okay. Okay, so that's the future. Oh yeah, that's us all talking around it, yeah. Pretty cool. To be fair, Neo, I've done all this content so far solo. Even some of the stuff I was supposed to do co-op, I did it solo. It's been like 36 minutes to clear something, but I did do it solo. What's going on? Has it bugged out? Oh, no. I didn't see you there. You're just hiding, little rats. Oh, that was actually cool. We could like break out of that little domain expansion. Oh, I'm bugged out now, yeah. Broke it. Chat broke it. Chat broke the game. What? That's not what we wanted to happen. Well, can I, can I unstuck? Is there like an unstuck setting that'll get me out of it? I need customer service. Escape settings unstuck. Oh, there it is. I literally look at customer service and didn't see him. Okay, that's good then. Yeah, I like ended up coming out of that like domain expansion, didn't I? And then it was like, it was still kind of there. Right. Won't do that again. We'll try not to anyway.
Oh no! Get out of my way! Over.
I do enjoy the combat in this game though, it's fun. Come on. Bro, wait. Come over here. Okay. I was worried I was going to end up coming out of it again then. Wait a minute. Did I do that in the right order? Open the mechanism according to the order. Oh shit, I don't know what the order was.
Just now was not successful. Finish these grace-based entities first.
Oops.
Oh, if it's wrong, you fight a mob. Oh, okay. Nice one. So I'm usually it's the one on the right then, yeah. At the front now. I think.
Stand down. It's over.
It's probably better to go back to where we were just now and take a closer look at our plan.
I think it's that one though, yeah, yeah. Did they reach out to it? Oh, right there. Okay, so that one first at Shirley's at, yeah. And then that one. And then the one that Lynn's at, yeah? Okie dokie, we cookie now, we cookie.
Another totem.
For some reason, this reminds me of Meroria. It hangs above the confounding abyss. The eye,
boobs, man.
just as the pattern
Just
presents.
there, staring at me.
Is this just a coincidence?
I guess some coincidences are actually inevitable. Just a guess.
Are you suggesting another possibility? These totems are not relics of the past, but a record of our development and transition. In other
A
words,
ledger?
they've been watching us.
In this case, we must prepare ourselves for the day when we finally face them. I hope it's not too late.
This is quite cool though, this is. Open the mechanisms according to order. Okay, so Shirley's first again. Then Lan, then Lynn. Yeah? Wait. Yeah, but this is this one first, then, yeah? Oh, that one first. Then that one, yeah. No, I guess not. Hold on, crack the code. You stupid. Hold up a second. Okay, Lynn's pop on, yeah? I was Lynn first, and then Shirley, and then Lan. I think Lynn was first, yeah. So this one. No. So with this one, that one, and that one. What?
I'm afraid our operation just now was not successful. Finish these
Or do I need to go in the opposite direction because he's backwards? Right, proper domain expansion, yeah. Shopkeeper's got that going on as well, man. That's what I said, I ain't calling it a Stellar Realm, it's just a main expansion.
Oh no. It's over.
It's probably
let me just
better to
double
go
check.
back
So-
to where we were just now and take a closer look at our plan.
So I think Lingers first. Then Shirley. And then Lan. Or do we do that in reverse then, do we? So do we go that one, then that one? It's like flipped? Yeah, it's flipped, yeah. Okay. Okay. It was trying to trick me.
I'm so confused.
It was trying to trick me.
Those tentacle-looking things. Could they be gray space entities?
Could it be an implication of the development and evolution of gray space
And they have
entities?
tentacles in anime
They
with
grow,
waifus.
expand, override, and encroach.
Hey,
Perfectly in line with what we know
you
about
know,
the gray space entities.
things could get a little bit wrong.
I don't know for how long this alien civilization has coexisted with gray space entities. If they were doomed to perish, I can't let this tragedy happen again.
I've seen this pattern in another Blackstone ruin. In Domain 9, we would interpret this as suppression and sealing.
Tentacles and
which is
waifus.
the primary purpose of many Blackstone ruins.
Interesting. Could these patterns indicate the function of the Blackstone ruins? Could the ruins here have 4 different functions? Or is it just a summary? Like a showroom that displays and explains?
I wish there was some clearer explanation.
Same. Don't like using my brain. Okay, we're going to the future. Okay, so there's no future to tell my past. It's just, am I just kind of like winging it? Okay, so we know that one's the first one.
Oh, no.
That's not gonna be. It's gonna be this one, isn't it? No, it's not. Okay, so
I'm
first
afraid
one.
our operation just now was not successful. Finish these gray space entities first.
Watch this. It's over. Oops.
It's probably better to go back to where we were just now
Where
and
did
take
we
a
come in?
closer look at our plan.
So this one, this one, this one. Okay. Don't worry about interrupting, bro. It's all good, man. Pop it when you feel like you want to pop it, man. Some of these sort of environments give me like Destiny vibes. It's an event horizon? Hey, what's going on, Nacho?
Are we back safely?
We escaped the
Lynn,
tentacles.
Can you hear me? Communication seems to be up and going again as soon as we leave the ruins. How is it?
We've just received an update from the monitoring department. The stability of the space-time under the
How's things
Grand
all
Sea
right,
is
Nacho? You good,
improving
dude?
steadily. This must be related to what you did inside the ruins.
Good news.
Mr. Conroe also got in touch with us not too long ago, sharing
Ready?
some unexpected
What?
changes to the
This is
Abyss
something coming up
current
that I'm
that
going to
have
get
come his
battered in.
attention.
Am I coming up to some...
He's waiting for you over there. I believe he has something very important to discuss.
Thank you.
Oh, ready for the next
We'll be
level
there
of season. I need to get back on solo leveling. The game as well, but solo leveling. When is the new season coming? Because I'm ready for the anime, but I'm also ready to get back on the game as well. I thought you were talking about the game then, but yeah. Dude, I'm so ready. I really enjoyed that series. I bought the manga as well. I've started collecting the manga now because obviously I enjoyed the show so much. I was like, I gotta get the manga now.
Yeah.
Big into... Yeah, dude, I like it, man. It's... What's this? You gonna go off and find something? There you go, little bud. You found something for me. Ooh. You got more for me? I like you. Somewhere this month at the beginning of next. Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm ready. My body's ready. Yeah, I need to get back on the game. I like the game, actually. I really like the game. Had a lot of fun with it. I might do some this week, actually, because I do want to start Brown Dust as well this week. Nice. Cheers, bruh. Where are we going now? Inners. Go to the Dragon Breath volcano. I've got to swim down there again, you know, because I didn't have a... I couldn't do the fast travel because melted. I guess we'll swim then. I'm level 55 at the moment. I have every SSR weapon there is and spoilers added into the game to die for. Oh, really? Should get into the anime. Yeah, the anime's good. I like the anime. Yeah, I've finished season 1. Yeah, I swear the Crownless hologram. He's desperately trying to beat Igris. Just the way he comes at you like. Hey, yo, Nacho with spirit animals. I was telling Neo about this in chat. Or Demon Tech to you guys. Kaiju number 8 is fire. Straight fire. I really like Kaiju number 8. Actually, my girlfriend likes Kaiju number 8. I struggled to get her actually into certain animes, but we watched that together and she really, really enjoyed it. To the point where she was willing to stay up late, and that for Rosie, because like as soon as we're in bed, Rosie's ready for sleep, you know what I mean? So the fact that like on weeknights as well, when she got work in the morning, I was like, I just want to watch one more episode, and she was like, oh, go on then. I was like, yeah, sweet. So he got the Rosie seal of approval. Which really, the last anime that got the Rosie seal of approval was Promise Neverland. Yeah, I want to watch Terminator as well, Terminator Zero, because that's launched now, hasn't he? Apparently people are saying it's good as well. I think it's on Netflix, yeah, that. Yeah, it really is a good anime. I like it. What's the episodes up to on that? Because I think up to like 12, 13 and that was it. I don't know if there's any more episodes since. It's been a while. The Terminator anime's on Netflix now. Yeah, I feel you on that, Nacho. I find it hard watching stuff now since I quit smoking weed. It's like, I swear weed was the thing that allowed me to sit down and watch stuff, but I'm the same. I've never been diagnosed, but I think I have got it.
It doesn't bother me, but the guys at the other end of the Celestial Gate might not be able to sit still. We've stayed a bit too long. You must be worried.
Gaming's only the really form of media, really, that keeps me locked in all the time.
Coincidentally, while you were away at Blackstone Ruins, I noticed some interesting changes in the Abyss Current.
Oh, you mean Kaiju? Yeah.
The gray space entities around the Abyss Current were no longer drawn to it, and the space-time collapse under the sea stopped abruptly. I assume these were all caused by what you did there. I guess there's some kind of an energy pulse derived from Blackstone Ruins, which has neutralized the Abyss Current's disruptive force. The Abyss Current can now be controlled using a timestamp. In other words, we can now use a timestamp to transform the Abyss Current into a celestial gate to serve our needs.
We are
This is
gods.
so risky.
We don't have a safer option now.
Yeah, it is risky because everything that
If
seems to go
current
wrong in
impact
this
on
world is
space-time
constantly
won't
people going,
cease to
ooh,
exist,
let's control
we can no longer open
the
celestial
universe
gate
around
with a
us, and it goes
timestamp.
wrong.
Everything inside the Abyss Current is unknown to us. If this is our only chance to go back to Domain 9, I'm taking it. Don't worry. I perform best when I'm alone.
So they're from Domain 9, those two.
It sounds rather stiff.
It seems to be, doesn't
Keep in
it?
touch. I know you got this.
I suppose it's picky poison. Do you want a 12 episode season or, you know, like 1100 episodes? Camera's silhouette slowly faded into the Abyss Current. We decided to head back to Inners to report this trip's findings to Ark and Larson. So we had to go all the way back there for that twink to bounce. Still can't go get that what's it, can I? Son of a... Basically human doing some human stuff. It's true. It is true. Gantz. I don't think I've ever watched Gantz, actually. I can't wait for ray tracing to come to Wuthering Waves. Because the game already looks gorgeous now. Like, now 120 FPS is yeah. Gimme ray tracing. My body is ready. I'm ready to be able to look at my boober in the mirror and stuff, and in the reflections on glass and that. I'm here for it.
Archon Larson, we successfully located Blackstone Ruins and revealed its entrance through a timestamp. We explored inside and managed to reboot Blackstone Ruins, which exerted influence on the Abyss Current, stabilizing the underwater space-time.
Yeah,
Mr. Conroe
that's a
believes
sort
this
of
Abyss
like
current under
what
the
I like for
control
a
of the
season is
timestamp
about 20 to
could
30
be a link
episodes.
between
12 just feels a bit too
Domain
short
9
for
and
me.
Vera.
Especially if it's one I really
Not
like.
only that,
I suppose it
he
depends
has
on the
set out
length
to
of the
verify
episodes as
this
well, though.
himself.
If Mr. Conroe could verify this conjecture on this trip, we would be able to establish a stable connection with Domain 9 through the Abyss Current. And more cooperation could be carried out between Domain 9 and Hykros to tackle the potential threats posed by gray space entities.
I think as well, if you make a shorter first
Lyra,
season, it's less of an
continue
investment, isn't it, if
monitoring
it
the Abyss
fails?
Current and the Blackstone Ruins. We need to learn more about how the Blackstone and gray space entities affect each other.
That's right. We're already working on it.
This series of emergencies that have threatened the safety of the people of Vera is over for now. Fiona, Lyra, Lynn, Miss Lon from Domain 9, Miss Shirley, and the Executor, thank you for your service. That's all for today.
The crisis caused by the Abyss Current has not yet completely subsided, but it's largely considered under control. The daily order has been gradually restored in Inners. I'm confident that soon everything will be back to normal. Thank you for all your hard work.
We're glad to be of help.
Although this incident has come to an end, we will pay close attention to its development here.
About 400 seasons.
Are you also heading back to Meroria? You guys are always together.
Actually, I plan to stay in Inners a bit longer. Ruby is doing really well. Archon Larson has released her from observation and put her back in my care. I didn't have much time for her lately. I'd like to bring her here, to make it up to her a little.
That's great news. Would you do
Oh,
me
it's
the
just
honor
a
of
it's just a
planning
relay,
visit?
chat relay.
It just so happens that the Inners Oceanography Research Lab is currently open to the public. Would you be interested in a tour together? Some of the lab's most precious collections are on exhibition. I'd like to invite you both to enjoy the unique charm of the Grand Sea.
Thank you, Archon Fiona. I look forward to this tour.
Don't be a stranger. Call me Fiona. Great. Lynn and I will see you at the Oceanography Research Lab.
It's a deal.
Fiona's got massive tatas.
Fiona, I haven't seen you for so long.
It's been a while, Ruby. Is this your first time to Inners? What do you think?
The underwater world is so pretty. I saw a lot of wonderful fish.
Really? I think you will see more brilliant sea creatures soon.
Yes, I'm over the moon. Lynn, please.
Can't wait. Excellent. Executor, Shirley, let's go.
The aquarium.
Hey! The great whale shark is coming! Clang, clang!
Riding a whale? Lynn, I don't think it's very nice.
What's this?
I knew it was Ginono.
Ginono.
You look troubled, Fiona, which is very unusual.
Everyone in Inners knows how mischievous this kid is. No parents allow their children to play with her. She's pretty much all by herself. Sometimes I try to look after her a little more and teach her some manners, but I just don't have much time for this. Her behavior is getting worse and worse, but can we blame her?
I see. Shall we try something different this time?
You mean Ruby?
You're right.
Why
Riding
you
on the
dress
back
like
of
that
an
for a
exhibit
kid, bro?
might
What the
upset the
fuck?
staff in the exhibition hall. Do you have a plan?
Maybe I could ask her nicely to come down?
You got this, Ruby.
Uh-huh.
Kid's gonna kick Ruby in the face.
My name is Ruby. Do you want to come down and play with me? My name is Ruby. Do you want to come down and play with me? Oh, forgot to say hello. Lynn told me to be polite. My name is Ruby. Sorry, I mean, hello. My name is Ruby.
Are you talking to me?
Yes? Can we play together?
I see! You're also into adventures!
Oh, okay.
My name's Ginono. Haven't seen you before. The great whale shark is my ride. It's a shark, not a whale. If you would like a ride on the great whale shark, you can have my seat. And you'll enjoy the commanding view. Up here, I can spot those adults who come to catch me.
Has that got no bearings?
It's huge!
Check out its massive mouth. It can definitely take us down in one gulp. Then we can explore the great whale shark's stomach.
According to this, it's very gentle, but we probably don't want to make it mad.
Oh no! Fiona is also here! Retreat! Now!
Lynn?
Good idea. Go play. And be
He don't
nice.
seem that bad. Just dressed a bit freaky.
It's wonderful that you're making friends, Ruby. Despite all the ups and downs, Ruby's life is gradually getting back on track. Rubelia must be happy to see this.
It's a pity that the doctor couldn't come with us.
I understand, but now is not the time to reveal everything to Ruby. Until that day, she will continue to endure silently. And to dispel the haze that hovers above them and keep Ruby safe from those gray space entities. For her, being able to watch over Ruby from a distance, like before, is enough. And I'll be there with them. Always.
What are you doing? Going to the giant squid. I like the colour palette of her outfit though.
Look, this is a giant squid. Look how long its arms are, and it can eject the cloud of ink to distract predators. I bet it's pretty good at playing ball.
VA is
By
quite
the
good,
way, do you play ball? You can join Pip and me.
Is it really okay? I never played before.
I'll teach you. It's a deal.
Would it be possible for Ruby to visit Inners more?
What? Why does everybody hate
Truly
this kid? 'Cause she
astonishing how
don't
fast
really
two
seem that
children
bad.
could bond. Yes, I guess I'll become a frequent visitor. Fiona, don't get sick of me too quickly. Are you sure? But the most complex problem has yet to be resolved. We must not let our guard down.
Hey, Pip.
Exactly. The Abyss Current, the Black Stone, and the Hive Mother. Darn it. All these things beyond our knowledge came one after another, and the key information remains missing. I feel we are sinking deeper into the vortex. Now we must take each step cautiously. As the head of Inners, I must save more for a rainy day.
This is a mink whale. Isn't it pretty?
It's cute.
A mink whale.
Dolly thinks so.
It's much smaller, not like those massive whales. If it was slightly bigger, we could hide behind it. Don't tell anyone.
I didn't expect to see so many wonderful sea creatures in Inners. Thank you for having me. Well worth the trip.
Executor and Shirley, I know you are probably not expecting to hear this here, but I really am grateful for your dedication and hard work. It's not your duty to fight against gray space entities, but you have dedicated yourselves to this dangerous operation. Your contribution to solving this crisis caused by gray space entities is undoubtedly remarkable. Honestly, I don't think we could have saved the situation time and again without your full support. Please accept my sincere gratitude and warm regards.
Hey, no big deal.
Show your boobs.
This is an ichthyosaur, and that is a Symbospondylus. That's all. Let's go inside.
Is that it?
What's so interesting about two big rocks? If you really want to know, I'll read you the introduction. The fossil belongs to the order Ichthyosauria, and it is the most specialized marine reptile in history. Okay, done. Come on, let's play outside.
Did you just run out?
I guess so. Although I didn't expect this. Would you like to continue with the tour?
I think it would be better to confirm where the two of them have gone.
Probably.
We better hurry and catch up with them before Ginono takes Ruby to the island.
What, you gonna let the kids take them? What? Out in the ocean?
Forget the introductions. Ginono, this is Dolly, and that is Spark. Hey, Spark, come say hello.
Terrific! You have so many close friends. I'll enroll you all in the Exploration Team Reserve Force. This is great! So many new recruits in one day. I've come to the right place. I'm dog-tired.
Huh? Ginono, are you tired? Wanna go back?
It's been a long day. I'm getting sleepy.
Shall we take a photo together before you go? Spark can help. Right, Spark?
Great idea! I love photos!
Lynn, do you want to join us?
Come on, let's join in the fun.
I'll count to 3.
And imagine
and
Lynn to be a
everyone looks at
photo
Spark.
girl.
1, 2, 3, Spark!
Today's Inners trip has come to an end. Ruby, say
I cut
goodbye
that
to
photo off
Ginono.
quick. Didn't even get to see what it looked
Bye,
like.
Ginono. I had a lot of fun today.
Me too! Come back soon! Next time, we'll shoot balls on the beach!
Uh-huh. Next time.
I like the design though. Like the actual outfit looks cool. Bit weird that it's on a kid, like, you know, but the actual outfit looks cool. Like the little, I don't know what that was, like underwater Cthulhu-like brooch that she was wearing. Right, doggy. Right, doggy. I am considering, like, in a little bit of a in between a beat on the story, I guess, there. I think we will call it, chat, because I do have to get Rosie at 5:15. It's nearly 4:30 now. Perfect time to end it, really. So, yeah, man. I appreciate everybody hanging out today. I've had a blast. Share to all the people with the tips and tricks for Tower of Fantasy. I will be live a little bit later. I won't be live on the main YouTube channel, though, guys. Just to let you know, if you want to, I will give you a link. It's going to be a little bit... It's more variety content over there, though. It won't necessarily be the gacha stuff. Even though the name's Gachapon Pixel. It's a new channel I've set up. I'll give you a link. If you want to check it out, guys, go drop it a sub. But I'll be streaming other stuff over there. That's not like necessarily like gacha stuff. So if you want to check it out, you can check it out. Obviously, if it's not for you, that is totally fine. But I've set that up. Like, we'll be streaming some Deadlock later. And, you know, if you're streaming games like... whatever, like, you know, it might be Valorant, it might be a story game, it might be something like Dying Light, Cyberpunk, Witcher, you know, whatever you can think of. Sometimes certain games might not be gacha, but we'll stream on the main channel because it's a bit of a crossover. You know, maybe it's an anime game, maybe it's an MMO, maybe it's something that I think you guys might be interested. But yeah, I appreciate you guys. Thank you very much for hanging out today. If I don't see you later on in the Deadlock stream, which will be live on Twitch anyway, so, you know, you can just follow me on Twitch if you want to watch the streams. I'll catch you later, and I'll probably see you tomorrow.
This place
tomorrow,
looks different.
But probably, I'm thinking we're going to do some Tower of Fantasy. I'm not 100% sure, though. We might start Brown Dust 2 tomorrow, and potentially, maybe, do a bit of solo level and a rise. Actually thinking about it now. Now that we've mentioned it. Because I do want to get back into that game and clear the content that's there. So yeah, we might do that as well. We'll see anyway. I'll see how I feel anyway, guys. But thank you very much for hanging out, man. I do appreciate you. Have an amazing day. Stay safe. All that good stuff. I'll see you later. Ta-ra.
This place looks different.